call the meeting of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners August 14th meeting to order at 9:42, and I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Commissioners Cavell.
Here.
Erickson Galt.
Here.
Gershenson. Here. Gingell. Hoffman.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Joliet.
Here.
Long.
Here.
Lubes.
Here.
Markham.
Here.
Miller.
Happy to be here.
Nelson. Here. Powell.
Here.
Smiley.
Here.
Smith Charles.
Present.
Spiz.
Present.
Taylor.
Here.
Weipert.
Here.
Woodward.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. The invocation for this morning's meeting, it will be led by the Honorable Karen Joliet, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone could please stand.
Yes, everyone. Good morning. Morning. So, let us bow our heads in prayer. Dear gracious God, we gather here today in service to our community. We thank you for the blessings of this day, for the people we serve, and the opportunity together to work together for the good of the all. Grant this body clear minds directed by moral values. May our decisions be guided not only by what is practical, but by what is also just. Remind us that each number in a budget represents a neighbor's contribution, and each policy a person's daily life. We ask for the patience in listening, courage to speak the truth, and humility in receiving wisdom from others. May disagreements be handled with respect, and every voice be heard. And when the work of this meeting is done, may we leave here with a renewed sense of unity and purpose, knowing the best way to serve you is by serving one another. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Joliet. Next up is approval of the minutes from the July 17th meeting. Moved by Commissioner Spiz, seconded by Commissioner Lubes. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Let the record reflect that the minutes have been approved unanimously. Next up is approval of the agenda. Moved by Commissioner Lubes, seconded by Commissioner Powell.
Chair, I
Any
move to
discussion?
amend the agenda. I move
your
to
hand,
amend the agenda.
Well, just 1 second, Commissioner Cavell. Commissioner Nelson had your hand up first.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move to amend the board agenda to include a communication item, the formal objection to exclusion from the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee.
Moved by Commissioner Nelson, seconded by Commissioner Cavell. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Nay.
I'd like a roll
Nays
call,
have-
please.
Madam Clerk, can you call the roll
Oh,
on the Nelson amendment?
you're prompted? Okay, you can vote on
Oh,
your
it's been
tablet.
prompted. Never. Okay, it's already prompted. It's
Can we
already
do a
in there.
voice vote?
No. So this is a roll. This is a roll call of the vote on the Nelson motion that failed. So a request for a record roll call has been made.
No, it's a communications item.
Are the screens not working? Can board staff please make sure that the boards are working, please, so everyone can see results? But we have 8 yeas, 10 nays.
An insufficient number voting in the affirmative, the motion fails. Commissioner Cavell.
I move to amend the agenda to add item titled Resolution Affirming Oakland County's Commitment to Peace, Humanity, and Global Compassion as it was passed by Lago.
Moved by Commissioner Cavell.
Support.
Seconded by Commissioner Nelson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Nay.
Roll
The
call,
nays have
please.
it.
Roll call.
May I ask a question first?
No.
Why?
There's a record. There's a roll call.
This is the second time you've done this,
That-
Mr. Chair. And there's two peace resolutions.
There is a request for a record roll call on, you've been prompted a request for the record roll call on the Cavell amendment.
Why didn't I take this?
Commissioner Johnson?
Oh, isn't that convenient?
Commissioner Johnson?
It's a political move.
Madam Clerk, can you close the board?
Mr. Chair, you have 8 yeas, 9 nays.
An insufficient voting in the affirmative, the motion fails.
Chair,
Okay,
I move to amend
that's-
the agenda.
moved by Commissioner Cavell.
I would
Support.
like to add miscellaneous resolution condemning federal retraction of enforcement in Equal Employment Opportunity Commission versus Sheetz gas stations and affirming Oakland County's commitment to equal employment opportunity.
Motions to amend the agenda to add an item. I'm going to rule that issue.
Excuse me, I'd like to
That-
do a
hold
point
on,
of order.
Commissioner
The chair is
Nelson.
being paid by Sheetz, and Sheetz is
Commi-
named in this resolution.
Commissioner
This is a direct
Nelson.
conflict of interest, and under the principles of impartiality and public trust,
The-
the chair
the
should not
issue,
preside over to
Commissioner
vote
Nelson.
on this matter to add it to the agenda.
Commissioner Nelson, thank you. The item that I believe that you distribute a resolution for consideration.
It was
has
moved and
not been
seconded,
properly-
Chair.
has
It
not
has been properly vetted.
It
It
is
is
not-
moved
it is
and
not-
seconded.
Commis-
I moved it.
Commis-
Bob Hoffman
it-
seconded it.
Commissioner Cavell.
If you need Vice
We-
Chair Gershenson to take over for you with the gavel for this vote, that's
Commissioner
perfectly fine too.
Cavell, the matter is improper. It has not been introduced before the full board.
You allowed
can
us to
it.
introduce 2 previous items to approve the agenda, and we voted on those. What is different about this one, Chair? The silence is deafening.
I'd like to appeal the decision of the chair.
Appeal the decision of the chair. Sustaining the ruling that this is non-germane because improper before the board, all in favor,
I'm
sustaining
sorry,
the
could you
chair's
clarify that,
decision.
Chairman?
The ruling is that this matter is improper, has not been introduced through a standing committee or through a chair of a committee, and there's a normal process it needs to go through.
Yes, and that includes Robert's Rules of Order, which this is following the process of.
Thank you. All right. So the chair determined it non-germane.
Roll call vote on that.
Yes, I'd like a roll call vote on the appeal to the decision of the chair.
I think the clerk is ready in the tally.
Mr. Chair, can you please confirm what exactly we're voting on?
Yeah, what's the motion?
Yes.
The ruling of the chair is that the matter of Commissioner Cavell is not germane.
Okay, so then a yes vote means we agree with your decision and a no
Yeah.
vote means we don't. Okay, just wanted to be clear.
Correct.
So I'd like to just clarify, what I had asked was that, the ruling that this doesn't follow the committee process is incorrect. I am appealing the chair's decision ultimately to not include
Thank you.
this
Commission-
item.
Thank
So
you,
I want to be
Commissioner
clear,
Cavell.
because it's not what Chairman Woodward you just stated.
So voting
That-
yes means this.
Voting yes is sustaining the ruling of the chair is non-germane. Voting no is to overturn the ruling of the chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, hang on. I just want to clarify, because we're, keeping the minutes here, as to who made the motion,
Okay.
whether it was Commissioner Cavell or Commissioner Nelson, because I thought it
Commissioner
was
Cavell
Commissioner
made the,
Cavell.
well, I think Commissioner Nelson. This is on,
So Cavell made the motion, Hoffman
went
seconded.
seconded.
Chair said it's not germane. Nelson appealed, and now we're taking a vote on that.
yeah,
And a
the
yes
motion
vote
is on the appeal.
Okay.
Yes is
Trying
to
keep
sustain the ruling of the
minutes
chair.
straight.
No is to overturn the ruling of the chair.
No,
Chairman,
Yeah.
I just need to change mine
It could be boring.
because I thought it was the other way.
Okay.
So I'm a
So
yes. and I-
Commissioner
Commissioner
Cavell
Powell?
votes yes.
Yes, I vote yes.
Yes. Who seconded Nelson? She asked for vote. Oh. Okay, all right, so, Mr. Chair, sorry for the confusion. We have 10 yeas, 8 nays.
The ruling of the chair is upheld. Now, where are we? Are we back at approval of the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair,
We're back at the approval of the agenda. Commissioner Spitz.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda also. Mine's a little different. I'd like to move all the regular agenda up prior to consent agenda, because I believe some decisions that have to happen in regular agenda could affect consent agenda decisions. So I want
So
those
you're
done
requested to have the regular agenda
first.
first.
Yes.
That's fine.
Nice.
I think, is it, based on, I mean, Commissioner Powell, Commissioner Lubes, is that fine? That we just move the regular agenda stuff up first? Let's, why don't we just,
Friendly amendment?
we'll consider a friendly amendment as done.
Thank you
All right.
very much.
All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Let the record reflect that the agenda is approved unanimously.
Chair, I'd like to move
The-
to amend the agenda.
The what?
I'd like to move to amend the agenda. I have something else to
We
add.
have just approved the agenda.
I see, okay, my bad.
Mr. Chair, I'd
Thank
like to
you.
go on record with a no vote of I do not support approving the agenda.
Thank you. This will now move to presentations. We have two presentations, the proclamation retirement of our Pontiac School District Superintendent Kelly Williams, and I will call Commissioner Powell up to the podium to present this proclamation. And Commissioner Smith-Charles.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And I'd like to bring up Miss Kelly Williams, Superintendent Emeritus now. So, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we have a proclamation honoring Kelly Williams. Whereas passionate individuals such as Superintendent Kelly Williams, who devoted their careers to improving the education of our youth, are worthy of recognition, and whereas Superintendent Williams was inspired from a young age to earn a degree in early childhood education at Clark Atlanta University. She began her 30-year career with the school district of the city of Pontiac as an elementary teacher in 1995, committed to making a positive difference in students' lives. On a broader scale, she went on to hold positions within the district as assistant principal, elementary curriculum supervisor, and assistant superintendent of curriculum and instruction. In 2009, she obtained her master's degree in curriculum instruction and leadership at Oakland University, alumni, and her Michigan administrative certification, and
whereas in 2013, Superintendent Williams was selected for her most recent role by the Pontiac Board of Ed. During her tenure as superintendent, the school district has undergone a significant metamorphosis. Although she began her role during one of the most difficult times in Pontiac's history, her combination of passion, experience, compassion, and unyielding dedication has transformed Pontiac into a district recognized nationwide for its positive and innovative advancements. Under Superintendent Williams' leadership, the district eliminated a $52 million deficit, passed a $147 million bond, Pontiac's first bond passage in 30 years, launched its Career Pathways program, and expanded student scholarship and partnerships at leading corporations and educational institutions, including Harvard University. And Whereas,
You can go ahead.
whereas on the occasion of her retirement, we joined, of course, she's too young to be retiring. On the occasion of her retirement, we joined the school district of the city of Pontiac, its staff and students, and the community of Pontiac to thank Superintendent Williams for her decades of service. Now, therefore, David T. Woodward, our chair of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, Commissioner Powell, Angela Powell, myself, Yolanda Smith-Charles, and the entire Oakland County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaim special commendation to Superintendent Kelly Williams. We wish her much enjoyment in her retirement.
And I do want her to come and say some few words if you would like, but I just want to go on record and say, being our superintendent for that school district and me just seeing what you did, it was a lot. And I just appreciate you at least just getting through and doing your best in that position of what you could offer to them kids. So just thank you for not giving up. Thank you.
Thank you all. This is an honor to be standing before you. It was a very tall order that I did not see in my future initially when I started off as a teacher and moved through the ranks, becoming a principal of Longfellow Elementary, which was a very successful elementary school. But the tall order was definitely rewarding as I saw things happen in the district that helped us on a trajectory to be recognized at the national level. And with that being said, to eliminate a deficit of $52 million where a lot of surrounding districts did not think we were going to be able to get out of it without getting a bailout was a very tall order. And I have to thank the community, the staff, the trustees from the board that stuck with me and believed and entrusted their children with me. So with that being said, I am honored to stand before you and accept this proclamation. I am happy to retire after 13 years of serving the Pontiac School District as the superintendent. There is still a lot of work to be done. The reading levels still need to increase tremendously. There are skills trades that are being introduced in the district, which I initiated with the partnership of the local hospitals where our students graduate with the certification in CNA, which was the first track. Now we have expanded 8 more tracks throughout the district working with local businesses. This is the trend that we have to begin to show our students that reality is graduating and getting a job and becoming a successful unit and citizen in your community. So with that, please continue the work that you are doing. It is so important. It is so important to work with the local school district and the charters. Anywhere that there's a child, please continue to uplift them and encourage them to pursue their careers as well as continue on with their education. I thank you again for this tremendous support as well as this recognition. And if there's anything that any of you ever need, please know that I'm still here for you.
Thank you very much. Next, we are very fortunate to have a presentation from the Oakland Conservation District. And so who's giving the presentation? Welcome. Thank you for making time this morning to be with us.
Thank you.
And thank
Good
you.
morning.
morning.
My name is Patrick Costello with the Oakland Conservation District. I'm chairman of the board. Also with me this morning is Marianne Maring. She's on the board of directors with us. And I'm going to take a few minutes just talk about what the Oakland Conservation District is doing and some of the accomplishments that we're working with throughout the Oakland County with the residents. We have been servicing the Oakland County residents for over 75 years now. And I know there's probably a number of the folks here today that really don't know what we're doing. So I'm going to share some things that we're involved in, some of the things we're working on. The challenge we have is working with the landowners. We continue to work with landowners, property owners, bringing education out to them to make them aware of who we are, working with our partners. Some of our partners are the Natural Resource Conservation Services, Department of Natural Resources, Farm Bureau, the County Parks and Recreation, the farmers market we're involved in and doing education programs there about 9 months out of the year, and the Oakland County Water Resource Commission. Some of the things that we're accomplishing and working with the community is bringing federal dollars to the county. In the past approximately a year and a half, we've brought in over $150,000 of federal dollars to the county through various cost share programs, water storage programs, manure management, high tunnel programs that we're bringing some of the programs into the Pontiac area. That's a focus for us. We have our annual tree and shrub sales. In the past 5 years, we've sold over 50,000 trees and shrubs to the residents. The majority of those are going to residents of Oakland County. We know some go up to northern areas that folks are planting acreage that they've purchased over the years. We've now started a native plant sale every year. The idea with that is educating the community that as we fight the problem with invasive species, in removing the invasive species, it's critical that we plant native plants so the invasives do not return. We've had over 40 demonstrations with elementary school students in what we can do to help preserve our environment and make it good for us going into the future years. Okay.
And back up one more page, Patrick.
Oh, I missed a page?
Yeah, you just got
Oh,
sticking. Sorry. Let me do this
Here.
for you.
Yeah. There we are. Okay. Some of the challenges we have is the funding we get is all through grants, and those grants can be renewed every year or they not renewed. And that's the challenge we've had in 2008. The state funding for conservation districts here in Michigan was taken away, and we had no funding whatsoever from the state until 2023, at which time the Oakland Conservation District was able to hire their first employee since 2008. We were able to operate those years with all volunteers, with the board of directors' commitment to service the community as much as we could. Since that time, with the new administrative grant that we have, we are able to hire a full-time employee, which has been able to create a much greater outreach to our community. We've started a program, the Backyard Habitat Certification Program, where we'll work with landowners to create their own backyard habitat, whether it be for butterflies, birds, gardening, and we help them understand how to do that so it'll be a successful environment going forward. And we have over 90 certified programs in place through that Backyard Habitat Certification Program. And we also have a MEEP program. It's a Michigan Environmental Agricultural Rural Development that's through MDARD. And we have over 22 certified programs here in Oakland County now with that program. In closing, and just sharing some of the things that we're involved in closing, I would just invite the commissioners to contact us and find out what we're doing in your in your district. I'm sure there's things we're doing. There might be some districts we're not doing much of anything, and we certainly would be interested in getting more involved. And maybe there's some things that you would like us to get more involved in, and we need to hear from you, so we're happy to move forward with some of the ideas you may have. So I can leave some of my business cards for contact information, and we will be sending out just a follow-up to all the commissioners regarding this meeting and some of the information I've shared with you this morning. So you will be getting a follow-up email from the district. And with that, I want to thank you very much this morning for your time and attention. And again, invite you to contact us to find out what we're doing in your district. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. While we have our leadership of the Conservation District, do commissioners have any questions? If you're willing to take a question or two, but you might, I don't see any questions.
Are there any questions? Yes.
I have a question. Do you have any idea what the funding looks like coming from the state if they pass their budget?
Right now, we know we're good for another year.
Okay, thank you.
That's all we know right now.
Okay.
So it's a challenge for us.
All right.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. No more further questions? Well, thank you again. Thank you for spending some time this morning with us. Next will bring us to communications. Madam Clerk, would you read in the communications?
Right, the first is dated August 14th, 2025, to the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. Please accept this letter as notification that I have exercised the authority granted to the chair of the board to approve grant applications in excess of $50,000 for the purposes of meeting a submission deadline. Due to the grantor deadlines and the board's grant submission process and calendar, it is not possible to submit the application for full board consideration in accordance with our normal procedures. I have authorized the submission of the following grant applications. First is the Fiscal Year 2026 Local Health Department Emerging Threats Agreement for Health and Human Services in the amount of $238,606. The grant application deadline is August 8th, 2025. The next grant is the Fiscal Year 2026 Pontiac Integrated Urgent Care, also for Health and Human Services in the amount of $990,000. The grant application deadline for that was August 5th. And the final one on this communication, is the Fiscal Year 2026 Strengthening Health Equity through the Community Health Worker Workforce, also for Health and Human Services. That grant is in the amount of $200,000, and the grant application deadline for that is August 22nd, 2025. Sincerely, David Woodward, Chair of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. The next communication does not have a date, sorry, but dear Chairman Woodward, I have received notification from J. David Vanderveen that he is resigning from the Oakland County Parks and Recreation Commission effective September 1st, 2025, after 27 years of distinguished service. Pursuant to the authority vested in the Office of County Executive under Public Act 261 of 1965, Section 1, Sub 2, Sub C, Sub 1, MCL 46.351, Sub 2, Sub C, Sub 1, I am appointing Kate Baker of Ferndale, Michigan, to the Oakland County Parks and Recreation Commission as a designee of the County Executive effective on September 1, 2025. Sincerely, David Coulter, County Executive, Oakland County. I did receive another communication dated August 14th from Commissioner Nelson, but it's not on the agenda, so I won't be reading that. But
Point of order, Mr. Chair,
Wait,
communications.
1 second. Motion to approve the communications.
I'm sorry,
by
communications from
Commissioner-
commissioners to be
hold on,
elected into the
Commissioner.
record
Moved
are
by
not
Commissioner
subject to the
Powell.
discretion of the
Moved by
chair.
Commissioner Powell, seconded by Commissioner Miller.
We're not following
to adopt the
Robert's Rules of
communications.
Procedure.
Do you have Commissioner Nelson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As I've stated, communications from commissioners to be entered into the record are not subject to the chair's personal discretion. Mr. Chair, you are denying my ability to document a procedural violation that directly affects my elected duties.
Commissioner
if you
Nelson,
stand
are
by
out
that
of
ruling,
order.
I
You
appeal
are
your
out
decision.
of order, Commissioner Nelson.
I appeal your decision.
There's no decision. There's
Chair,
no
can you
decision to
just let
appeal.
her finish?
All in favor of approving the communication, say aye.
Chair, please let her finish.
Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Let the record
Let
reflect that the
Kristen
communications
finish.
have been received.
Roll call.
A request to, a roll call on receiving the communications.
It doesn't have to
Madam
go
Clerk,
this way, Chair. We could all just work
Madam
together.
Clerk, please
Residents of Oakland County
call.
deserve
Commissioner
transparency
Nelson,
and
you are out of order. There's been a request of a roll call on receiving the communications.
Commissioner Smiley? Mr. Chair, you have 10 yeas, 8 nays.
A sufficient number voting in the affirmative, the communications have been adopted. This will now move us to the public comment, the first public comment of our meeting. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board on any topic on the agenda. That would include the consent and regular agenda. And then there's a second public comment at the end of the meeting to speak on any topic not on today's agenda. There are a few people who've already signed up, so we'll start with this list. And then if you didn't sign up and you would like to speak during the first public comment, we will make time for you to do so. We ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. There's a timer up here to help keep you on track. If you just come forward when I call your name, if you just mention your name and community of residence, and then direct your comments to me, to the chair, we can get going. I will start with, is it Sarah Khan? Welcome.
I'm Sarah Khan from Novi. The resolution that I'm about to read complements the diplomatic leadership resolution. Resolution affirming Oakland County's commitment to peace, humanity, and global compassion, sponsored by Robert Hoffman. Whereas the residents of Oakland County share a deep and abiding commitment to peace, compassion, and the inherent dignity of every human right, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, religion, or background. Whereas around the world, families are enduring the heartbreaking consequences of violence, children growing up in fear, communities torn apart, and lives lost. These human tragedies remind us of our shared responsibility to uphold the values of empathy, justice, and peace. Whereas armed conflict and humanitarian crisis leave scars that stretch across generations, causing deep grief, trauma, and displacement, robbing people of safety, belonging, and hope. Whereas Oakland County affirms the belief that peace is not simply the absence of war, but the presence of justice, compassion, and opportunity, and that every step towards peace begins with recognizing the humanity of those affected by violence. Whereas the county supports global efforts to promote humanitarian relief, protect civilian lives, and advance solutions grounded in diplomacy, dialogue, and international law. Whereas Oakland County has a proud tradition of standing with those impacted by injustice and displacement, whereas we are committed to building a community where every resident feels safe, valued, and included, and where we extend compassion not only to our neighbors, but to those suffering across the world. Whereas promoting peace and upholding human dignity are values that transcend politics, uniting us across lines of difference in service of more than just a humane world. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Oakland County Board of Commissioners expresses its heartfelt concern for the people affected by conflict and violence around the globe and reaffirms its commitment to peace, justice, and the fundamental humanity we all share. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we've got Kathleen Rock, followed by William Reisen.
Good morning. My name is Kathleen Rock. I'm from Dearborn, Michigan. I'm here to read the resolution number 2025-5621, sponsored by Brendan Johnson, Board of Commissioners, reaffirming Oakland County's role of diplomatic leadership, chair, and members of the board. Whereas Oakland County values and upholds principles of humanity, peace, and dignity for individuals, regardless of race, religion, color, national origin, age, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression, height, weight, familial status, and marital status. And whereas ongoing military conflicts and violence around the world, including those which impact civilians throughout Ethiopia, Gaza, Israel, Myanmar, and Salah, and Sudan, and Ukraine, their families, and the diaspora communities in Oakland County result in unimaginable suffering, innocent loss of life, and displacement of communities, undermining the fundamental rights and dignity of individuals affected by these crises. And whereas Oakland County is home to numerous consulates and foreign diplomats and recognizes the importance of diplomacy as essential to resolving conflicts, protecting civilian lives, fostering stability and security, building relationships that foster mutual commercial growth, establishing avenues of cultural exchange programs, and sustaining partnerships for understanding. And whereas Oakland County calls for the immediate release of all hostages held in contravention of international law, including provisions of the Geneva Convention, which prohibit the taking of hostages in armed conflict, and reaffirms the inherent right of all the persons to liberty and due process as recognized in the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. And whereas Oakland County affirms the fundamental principles of international law as outlined in the Charter of the United Nations, including the prohibition on the use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state, and the obligation to resolve disputes through peaceful means. And whereas Oakland County condemns the use of illegal weapons, especially those prohibited by the Chemical Weapons Convention, and
You can finish.
and underscores the obligation of all parties to respect and uphold the rules governing the conduct of hostilities as codified in the Hague Conventions. And whereas Oakland County seeks to create a cosmopolitan environment where all residents feel valued and respected, irrespective of their background and beliefs. And whereas Oakland County supports efforts to address the root causes of conflict, promote intellectual dialogue, and build bridges of understanding and cooperation among communities, both locally and globally. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Oakland County Board of Commissioners expresses its solidarity with individuals and communities affected by military conflicts worldwide, and affirms its commitment to supporting diplomatic initiatives that advance humanity, peace, and dignity, including ceasefire, commitment to international law, and pursuit of de-escalation. Sorry about that, guys, I'm nervous.
Okay.
Be it further
we do need to
resolved.
wrap up now, though.
Okay. Be it further resolved that Oakland County calls upon world leaders to prioritize diplomatic efforts, and peaceful resolutions to conflicts, and promote respect for human rights and international law, and work towards the realization of lasting peace and security for all individuals and communities. Be it further resolved that the Oakland County Diplomatic Engagement Study Group is created to assess the county's current engagement with foreign policy in the state of the Foreign Diplomatic Corps of Metro Detroit. The study group shall be comprised of 3 members appointed by the board chair. Be it further resolved that the study of the group shall engage with municipalities and neighboring counties, as well as the state of Michigan, civic society partners in the United States Department of State as part of its efforts to gain an accurate, holistic analysis. Be it resolved that the city group shall report its findings to the board no later than the end of July 2026.
Your time is up. You're speaking of the process issues of the study group, so I wanted you to get to the study group, and that pretty much concludes the resolution.
Okay.
Thank you. Next up, we've got William Rising, followed by Isabel Pava. William, you here?
Sorry, I can't hear.
Oh.
All right. My name is Isabel Pavick. I live in West Bloomfield Township, and I'm a student of Huron Valley. I speak in front of the board today in support of both the World Peace Resolution and the Diplomatic Leadership Resolution in terms of them complementing each other, but I'd also like to... Oh, sorry. I speak in front of the board in support of both the World Peace Resolution and the Diplomatic Leadership Resolution, but also in the usage of the term genocide as applicable. In Article 2 of the Convention on Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide by the United Nations, genocide as defined as, and I quote, any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. As such, killing members of the group, causing serious bodily harm or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, and forcibly transferring children of the group to another group, end quote. Now take these facts into consideration and how this validates this definition in terms of the Gaza crisis. Over 60,000 Palestinians have been killed since October 2023. That accounts for 6% of the population of the Gaza Strip. As widely reported in the news and instated in the blockade that the Israeli government placed in 2007, is now being used against the Palestinian citizens in not giving them proper food, proper water, proper medical care. As of Thursday, the Israeli military made their intent perfectly clear that they intend to take over the Gaza Strip. And they've been closing down hospitals by persistently attacking them and not allowing anyone to get any sort of medical care in that area. Not in any way does calling the Gaza crisis a genocide invalidate or make any other genocide any less important, and I feel like this is a very important point to make. With the Cambodian genocide, the Armenian genocide, the Rwandan genocide, and infamously the Holocaust. I would like this definition to be used in consideration for the board. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next up, I got Suzanne Maloney, followed by David Finkel. Welcome.
First of all, I want to strongly object to the first public comment being used for the lies that have been perpetrated by the people that spoke before me. They're a bunch of cowards, and they will not call out. They're afraid to call out who's really responsible for what's going on in Gaza. Anyway, what I'm speaking on is truly on the agenda, and that is the Emergency Management and Homeland Security request for additional funding for the Oxford High School mass shooting independent after-action review report. There is absolutely no need to spend any more money on reviewing Oxford school shooting. You know what? All the answers are known. It's just somebody is too cowardly to admit what the answers are. And I'm telling you, who was not held accountable, the school, the principal, the counselors, were not held accountable for their egregious actions. And I would also like to call out someone who I'm sure you all embrace with loving arms, and that is your Oakland County prosecutor, Karen McDonald. I think she egregiously went after a juvenile who obviously was totally influenced by their parents, treating them as an adult without getting mental health for the juvenile first, because I think he was totally mentally ill, just as a political move to show that she was really tough, going to go after this juvenile. I'm sorry, I disagree with it, and I don't think any more money needs to be spent on evaluating who's at fault here.
Thank you. Is it David Finkel? And followed by Sahara Donald.
Hi, I'm David Finkel with Jewish Voice for Peace Detroit. I want to address the context in which the resolutions that have been read are being presented, and that is the reality, not the fiction, of mass starvation in Gaza. There are officially dozens of dying of starvation every day. The real numbers are much higher. Now, the warnings of famine and starvation in Gaza first surfaced months ago, in April or even in March. Now, when a warning of famine is given, that means that the time for emergency action is immediate. You don't wait until there is an official finding that famine is underway, because then it's too late. The United States government did nothing to respond to the warnings of famine. Instead, it enabled this shadowy thing called the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which is really a genocide hunger foundation, to be set up as a diversion, while all the massive amounts of aid that are required to feed and service the Gaza population are sitting in trucks just inside the Gaza border, where when Israel lets them in, it then refuses to enable them to actually reach aid distribution centers. So the result is that hundreds of starving people and weakened people are converging on these so-called aid distribution centers to be massacred every day. Now, this is the actual context. And you can debate forever October 7th and what happened after October 7th and everything else, okay? Right now, there is a genocide going on by way of mass starvation and famine. And the United States government is doing nothing about it underneath all of these pretexts. So whatever a local body like this one or a county body like this one can do, it should be speaking out, because it is already clear under the circumstances that thousands of people will die of famine and starvation in Gaza. The question is whether tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands will die before the United States and our population come to its senses. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sahara Donald, followed by Stuart Friedrichs and then Torrent Friedrichs. Welcome back.
Good morning. My name is Suhair Ghanam. I live in Huntington Woods, and I am disappointed that the World Peace Resolution didn't make it to the agenda for a vote. Both resolutions should be on the agenda for vote, and I hope and urge you to vote in support. The situation is really, as David Finkel has mentioned, it's very stark, it's very, horrible what is going on right now. And the least is we can pass these resolutions that are very symbolic. At one time, in time, in the future, the question will be asked, what did Oakland County say and do when American dollars, weapons, and political cover were used to commit atrocities and war crimes in Gaza? Future Americans may know it took Oakland County long, 18 months, for these resolutions to come to the floor for a vote, but being late is better than never. Words are not enough. There should be an outcry by now beyond words. And yes, what is happening is a genocide, as has been confirmed by Israeli leading historians and genocide experts, including Raz Siegel, Avi Shlaim, Omer Bartov, Ilan Pape, and many others. Leading human rights organizations have also reached the conclusion that Israel is committing genocidal acts, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch. Also, the most two prominent human rights organizations in Israel, B'Tselem and Physicians for Human Rights, have concluded that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. B'Tselem report titled Our Genocide, released on July 28, 2025, asserts that Gaza is being destroyed through a deliberate, coordinated policy targeting Palestinian society, infrastructure, education, health, and culture, constituting genocide. Yoli Novak, B'Tselem Executive Director, emphasized the moral weight of speaking out. Open quote, nothing prepares you for the realization that you are part of a society committing genocide. As Israelis and Palestinians, we have a duty to speak the truth. I urge you to restore the reference to Genocide Awareness Month in the World Peace. And thank you so much for entertaining this resolution.
Thank you very much. Sewer Friedrichs, followed by Torin Friedrichs. Is it, Summer?
Summer.
Summer, oh, I'm sorry, I did not realize that, yes.
That's okay.
Welcome.
Thank you for your time. I'm Summer Friedrichs from Bloomfield, Michigan. I'm here and speaking on behalf of the support of the resolutions 5621 and 5553. Fred Rogers once said, "We live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say that is not my child, that is not my family, that is not my community, not my world, not my problem. Then there are those who see the need and respond. I consider those people my heroes." You are your own moral judge. You are the one to determine the line in the sand of what is acceptable and what is not, what is right and what is wrong. It is a basic and simple action to share responsibility of recognizing the humanity, those affected directly and indirectly by violence, by this genocide. Allow others their moral compass in the name of peace, even if it's not your trajectory, and maybe become someone else's hero. Thank you.
Thank you. Torin Friedrichs, followed by Dalton Otwell.
Hi, my name is Torin Friedrichs. I live in Bloomfield Hills as well, and I'm speaking on the behalf of the support of resolutions 5621 and 5553. I wanted to speak on this issue by giving a bit of personal background of my experience with it. So this summer, I worked for my grandfather, who lives in Ann Arbor, so I stayed up at his house every week. And my grandparents religiously follow and watch the news every night, so I always felt like I was obliged to watch it with them. And every night for at least 20 to 30 minutes, the news played footage of the situation in Gaza, and I'm constantly reminded of the fact that food and aid trucks are being blocked, people are being starved, and the daily death toll of Gaza exceeds the toll of any other major conflict in recent years, with it being an average of 250. With every day I sat with my grandparents and watched this tragedy, I felt more inhuman and helpless. And I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it and drop statistics, but each week I get more confident in the fact that this conflict has gone far, far past a war between Israel and Palestine, and more so a mass killing of the people living in Gaza. So I wanted to acknowledge and recognize the injustice and severe violence against the Palestinians and emphasize the ability of the court and the people to recognize when something is wrong, because history does not judge kindly. Thank you.
Thank you. Dalton Atwell, followed by Nabel Sater.
Hello, everyone. Here, let me just adjust this. Hello, everyone. My name is Dalton Atwell, and I'm running for Congress in the 9th U.S. Congressional District. And I just want to start by saying that I love the shirts, the shirts these guys are wearing. I love the message that the shirts are trying to spread. And I think there's really simple ways in Washington we can spread peace. I don't think I agree with the resolution, but one thing we can do in Washington is we can stop sending so much foreign aid to other countries that use it for war and stop sending the money to Ukraine. If you vote for me, I'll never vote for that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Nabel Sater, followed by Amrit Kohli. Nabel first. Yes. Then Amrit afterwards. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm going to see if I can walk and talk at the same time. I'm here to talk about the resolution. I'm here to talk about the resolution 5621, resolution 5553 by Bob Hoffman, which was not introduced here. I just wanted to mention a few notes in here. By the way, these are pictures of starved children, starved people in Gaza. This is not the Holocaust. This is not Nazi Germany. This is Nazi Israel. Just want you to notice. Look at these pictures very clearly. These are video grabs. Yes, Nazi Israel. These are video grabs, so that you don't say they're fake AI, because I captured them from videos. Okay?
Nabel, hold on one second. Stop the clock.
Pardon?
Everyone, please afford everyone the opportunity to speak. Everyone's afforded the same. Let the people who've taken time out of their morning come and speak and address the board.
So at
Nabel,
the beginning of the session, I can't remember the lady that stood up and said something, whatever you guys call it. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like demeaning, but at the beginning talk about humanity and peace and justice for all. And we all stood up, we all looked down, looked very humbly, and we said, amen. I'm wondering, amen to what? Amen to what exactly? Because none of the things that you mentioned, none of the things that you said that's provided to us by God, under God, with God, all God, none of that is being done here. None of it, okay? So, I said amen to what? Oakland County upholds principles. I'm going now through the resolution, and thank you very much. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The lady that introduced 5621, I apologize, I thought I had it in here. But anyway, thank you for bringing this up, but I wanted to bring something out very important in here. Oakland County upholds principles of humanity, peace, and dignity, regardless of national origin. We can hardly tell. I can hardly tell. Military conflict, mention of Gaza, but no mention of the West Bank, Lebanon, Syria, Iran, etc. Also mention of Ukraine, but no mention of Russia. Now, when we talk about conflict, it's not a conflict, it's a genocide. This is a genocide, it's not a conflict. It is a genocide. And Israel has moved from genocide by weapons to genocide by starvation. I don't need to repeat what my colleague said before here. Hostages, taking of hostages in armed conflicts. There are 10,000 plus hostages in Israeli jails. 540 of them are minors. Over 3,000 are held under administrative detention, which means there is no reason why the attorneys don't know what they are. Just like we did in Guantanamo Bay. A lot of the people that were in Guantanamo are 600 plus people. Most of them did not have any charges against them. But of course we can do it because we're the United States. We write the laws and we break them. But we can do it because we're the United States. We are the big bully. We can do that. We're permissible. It's permissible for us. Use of illegal weapons. Really? Every weapon that has been used in Iraq against the Kurds, against Iran, in Vietnam, in Palestine by Israel, all of those are made by the United States. Talking about illegal weapons. Those are our weapons. Those are your tax dollars and mine. Root cause of the conflict. The only thing I can say to that is, duh. You don't have to go that far. Sorry. I was going to mention one more thing about the study group and the State Department. I went to the State Department to Aqaba, to Bosnia, and to Orangefield, Maine, to meet with the Israelis and Palestinians. It was a great trip for me. I got a lot of out of it, but you wasted your dollars.
Thank you, sir. Amrit, Mr. Kohli, and followed by Kathleen Erickson.
Hello, good morning. My name is Amrit Kohli, and I'm a Ferndale resident. I am Oakland County. Mr. Woodward, have you not done enough to interfere and block any ceasefire or peace resolution from even coming to a vote in this chamber? Now your excuse for not supporting Commissioner Hoffman's World Peace Resolution is that a Republican sponsored it? When a Republican does the right thing, I'm going to vote for them. When a Democrat does the wrong thing, I'm not going to vote for them. But this idea that just because someone comes from across the aisle, you won't support their legislation is why we have a dictator in the White House and why you have acquired a taste for authoritarianism yourself. You should support any legislation that does the right thing. All of you who voted down the Hoffman resolution should be ashamed of yourselves for playing the same partisan game that has gotten us to this moment in history in the first place. It's not like you've been helping us in our struggle to be heard about the genocide that is being live streamed in real time in Palestine. You have shown us, you have not shown us you actually care about the people of Palestine. Here you stand, poised to do the right thing, and you're playing party politics like a football with a resolution intended to take aim at the violent extremism being perpetrated by Israel against the Palestinian people. The two resolutions work to bridge the divide between us, not only on the commission, but by example, the divide that exists in our communities, in our state, and in our country. You should be leading us out of partisan bickering because you act like school children playing games with people's lives like it just inconveniences the proceedings of this chamber when you have to consider a resolution that comes from a Republican. I am angry at 99.9% of our government. The 0.1% that I'm not mad at include Representative Tlaib, Representative Ocasio-Cortez, Representative Omar, and Commissioner Hoffman. Why? Because these are the leaders of our future. This is the kind of leadership we need from Democrats. We need you to work across the aisle to solve our community's problems. Democrats and Republicans are incapable of solving the problems of this country without each other. You're getting nowhere like you're running on a hamster wheel, redoing and undoing the work of your predecessors. Stop fighting. For the love of God, stop fighting. You here in this chamber to the shores of Gaza, stop the fighting. That's the spirit of world peace resolutions before this chamber. And in that spirit, Mr. Woodward, and all the rest of you Democrats playing party politics with the lives of the people of Gaza who are being starved to death while you sit here in comfort with food waiting for you anywhere you want to go, you people need to start supporting peace at all costs, no matter who's proposing it. Do the right thing. Don't be such obstructionists. And grow up. You all need to grow up and free Palestine from the river to the sea. We will free Palestine from the clutches of this genocide that all of you here have sat watching for 18 months before you finally take this first step toward peace. This is only the first step. There is so much more you can do to stop the genocide in Gaza. Will you? Will you do it?
Thank you, sir. Kathleen Erickson, followed by Mona Patel. There are people who have been sitting here waiting as well. Are all the other people who are? I mean, if you could state your name and community of residence.
So I'm Nazneen Mahmood, and I'm coming here from Northville. So why is Gaza our concern? Although official counts of 61,000 dead, are 61,000 dead, according to The Lancet, in the first 9 months, that estimate should have been 40% higher. At this point, it may be on the order of more like 250,000 dead from disease, famine, bombings. And there are tens of thousands under the rubble, and now a deliberate campaign is underway to starve the population and the people, particularly children, who are acutely vulnerable to starvation. Even those that don't die will have lifelong deficits in brain and organ development, as well as chronic disease. It should remind you of what was done in a coordinated campaign of starvation and displacement to Jews in the Warsaw ghettos and later in concentration camps. When you not only level 90% of Gaza, but every school, university, and raid damage hospitals beyond function, every hospital. These are blatant war crimes by every international law and experts on genocide. I'm a pediatric doctor, and this hurts my heart to no end. It should hurt all of us because the children of the world are ours and have rights over us. Moreover, when you starve millions of people and induce famine at once, it is in fact a Holocaust on top of a genocide. 70% funded by our tax dollars. My tax dollars. $400 a year on a regular basis, plus bills that approve tens of billions of dollars at a time for Israel's ongoing war. Why are we cutting services like Medicaid and education, housing here in US, crime reduction programs in major cities, programs to re-educate police forces and reinforce them with mental health services? All of these are falling by the wayside, degrading justice in our society, all at the expense of funding foreign wars. Oakland County can send a major humanitarian statement to the political leadership on all sides, all parties. One of the wealthiest counties in the country can say that despite affluence here, war crimes will not be tolerated with our abducted tax dollars. Please approve the resolutions before you for an immediate ceasefire and restoration of full humanitarian medical aid to Gaza.
Thank you very much. All right, now Kathleen Erickson, and I see a slash, and this must be Jawad. Welcome.
Let me start first. Okay. I'm Kathleen Erickson from Huntington Woods. I'm here with Jawad, and I'm here in support of resolutions 5553 and 5621. Jawad is an 11-year-old Palestinian here visiting family. He wrote a poem in Arabic, which he will read in Arabic, and I'll read the English translation after him.
الذين لا يولدون قصف بكاء صراخ نشيج أصوات قنابل تحجب العويل أم طفل ذهبت مرور الكرام لا يقدر البكاء فعليه التصرف كالكبار لكي يقرر إن عليه البقاء أم الفرار أناس رأوا كل أصدقائهم يبادون ولا يقدرون أن يبادرون لأنهم يدركون أنهم لا يولدون فلا خيار إلا بدون ولكن عليك أن تحاول فحياتك بدونهم تسائل فالجميع جالسون يلعبون بها فهل من إنسانية تقف لها؟
Those who are not born, bombing, crying, screaming, sobbing, the sound of bombs drown out the wailing. The mother of a child murdered without being noticed. A child unable to cry. He is becoming an adult, deciding whether to stay or flee. When friends are being wiped out and feel powerless, knowing they are not to be born. No options and no choice. But you have the power to try. For your life without taking a stand is questionable. The powerful play with others' fate. Is there any humanity left for you to claim? 11-year-old Jawad.
Next up, we have Mona Patel, followed by, I think it's Rukia Draper.
My name is Mona Patel. I'm from Westland. I drove up here, took time off work, specifically just to bring up these two resolutions, and I would just ask, it's the simplest thing you could do. It doesn't take a lot. Why wouldn't you?
Thank you. Rukia Draper, followed by Kazi Afzal.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rokia Draper, West Bloomfield Township. I'm an attorney and member of the State Bar of Michigan. In fact, I practice nearly every day in this courthouse, and I take that privilege seriously. I advocate for those who don't have a voice. And it's my absolute duty to be here today speaking before you on behalf of those who cannot be here today. I endorse all the resolutions that support justice, peace, and compassion of all human beings. I am sick and tired. You ask why I am sick and tired. I am sick and tired of carrying the weight of preaching humanity to have the debate. Yes, unfortunately, it's still a debate, believe it or not. Despite the horrific images we are inundated on a daily basis, why deliberately starving and killing men, women, children, and even animals is wrong. As those privileged to be in leadership, we all hold a responsibility to protect justice and compassion for all. Even if this is performative, then support these resolutions that are before you today. Nothing can justify the mass atrocities that have occurred and continue to occur with our tax dollars. Support the resolutions furthering your humanity and compassion here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Kazi Afzal, followed by Joe Mandel.
Hello. Good morning, commissioners and all others here. I'm Kazi Afzal from Novi. I am Oakland County. Many journalists were murdered by Israeli forces, the highest of any war by an astonishing margin. The last one in a series of targeted killings by Israeli army totaled 5 journalists on a single day. I will mention one name here, Sharif. Sharif wrote a letter which he prepared to be read after his death because he knew he would be targeted. I could read a portion of it, but then I thought, what's the point? It will not matter to the ones who chose to be blind to the crimes committed on the Palestinians. The stories of bravery and sacrifice of over 200 Palestinian journalists are creating everlasting examples which will be well documented in history. Make no mistake that the Israeli killing machine and establishment will try to change it with lies, but the free world will not fall for it after witnessing the genocide executed by the Israeli government during the last 22 months. An Israeli settler shot dead a Palestinian teacher who helped film Oscar-winning documentary, No Other Land. It was shown in Cannes. It's not only the Israeli army, also the settlers who have been provided arms by the Israeli government to kill the Palestinians are also killing the people whose land they are stealing. Tens of thousands of children were killed with clear intentions of ethnic cleansing and genocide. A 6-year-old girl named Hind Rajab was shot 355 times. A 6-year-old, how big can she be? Because she was looked at as a threat by the Israeli army. Perhaps deniers of the genocide committed by the Israelis would not care and justify the uncountable deaths as a right to self-defend by the so-called democratic government. Children are dying who are just skin and bones due to malnutrition and starvation pushed by the occupying Israelis. Medical aid workers who work in the Palestinian territory, who are Palestinians and non-Palestinians, are killed in hundreds. Is this not genocide caused by the settlers and the Israeli government? Increasing number of citizens, talk show hosts, comedians are bringing on topics which would have been unconscionable even 1 year ago. Arrogance and intentional steps to spread lies and propaganda by Israeli authorities and its allies are proving to be futile. Individuals are being targeted which motivates many others to bring the anti-democratic actions to light. If you want to support Oakland County inhabitants, show your support for the resolutions put forward by Commissioners Hoffman and Johnson. Thanks to the Commissioners Joliet and Loops for your support to Commissioners Hoffman and Johnson. The national election in 2024 caught many politicians by surprise. It's not because the voters left the party, the politicians left the voters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Joan Mandel.
Hello, thank you. I'm Joan Mandel. I live in Royal Oak. Thank you for listening to me. I would urge you to vote yes on the diplomatic leadership resolution. And what I want to do today is to be here to do one of the only things I feel like I can do of significance, which is to read into the minutes the names of some of the children who were murdered in this genocide So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from a list of 18,000 people who have been killed by Israeli attacks, missiles and bombs. The list is public, so I'd like to read it for anyone who hasn't yet read the list of the 18,000 names into the minutes. And I have 2 minutes left to try. Al-Anud, Jabr al-Karani, Hor, Ibrahim al-Mamluk, Rami Rafat al-Amawasi, Hor Habib, Muhammad Shihab, Rifat Anan, Sana Hamoud, Muhammad Noor, Hassan Muhammad, Saif Ashraf, Abdurrauf, Hassan Ibrahim, Saif Ashraf, Tulin Ibrahim, Khalid Bilal, Tasneem Ramzi, Habiba Ashraf, Samira Ziad, Muhammad Basel, Huda Mustafa, Abdurrahman Samar, Dua Ali Hassan, Ghais Yasser, Muhammad Mustafa, Misk Mahmoud, Malik Walid, Mazin Hassan, Muayyid Muhammad, Rafif Allah, Usaid Haider, Batul Khalid, Lin Khalid, Sawar Khalid, Watim Bara'a, Rafif Walid, Fatima Muhammad, Zain ad-Din Suleiman, Malik Jihad, Rajwa Mahmoud. What I'm doing here is not performative. These are all some names of infants who were murdered. We are all parents, grandparents, children's brothers, sister. We know what it means when someone in our family dies. I want you to think of these names. I'm happy to meet you later and provide you with the whole list, but I would like to speak here on behalf of these children who cannot and urge you to vote for this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That completed the list of people that had signed up. Is there anybody else who would like to speak during this first public comment? If you could just come to the mic, right, and you'll be next. If you state your name and community resident, and you'll be third. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rania Masri, and I'm from Farmington Hills. I want to begin by thanking the few commissioners who helped get this resolution on today's agenda despite an inordinate amount of pushback and bipartisan pettiness. But let's be honest, when Commissioner Gershenson removed the word genocide from the diplomatic leadership resolution and the commission went ahead with it, the entire resolution was hollowed out. This is not an edit, that's erasure. First, I want to get to the bottom of two internationally recognized but apparently controversial terms. Ethnic cleansing means driving a people out through force, terror, and destruction. Netanyahu, yesterday, emboldened by the US's deafening silence, reaffirmed his plan for a greater Israel that would include taking over all of Palestine, parts of Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Iraq, and Egypt. The AP reported yesterday on US-Israeli talks of resettling all the people of Gaza into South Sudan. This only confirms what we've known and what Palestinians have been begging the world to see when witnessing Israel's occupation of Gaza and the West Bank for generations. This is textbook ethnic cleansing. Genocide is the intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. Gaza has endured it for 76 years. The world is finally naming it. The International Court of Justice says Israel's actions are plausibly genocidal. The International Criminal Court is pursuing charges for using starvation as a weapon. And inside Israel, rights groups like B'Tselem and Physicians for Human Rights Israel now openly say their own government is committing genocide. To say that using the word genocide is anti-Semitic is a bold-faced lie when it's being used by Israeli rights groups and Israeli protesters demanding that their government stops the assault on Gaza and brings back the hostages, and by Jewish people saying never again for anyone. For 18 years, Israel has kept Gaza under land, sea, and air blockade. Gaza's only airport was bombed out of service 2 decades ago. Since October 2023, Israel has bombed, starved, and sniped the Palestinian people. The numbers are unknown because of the tens of thousands of people still buried under the rubble due to the banning of international press who could cover the atrocities and the targeted assassination of Palestinian journalists who dare to speak up, 5 of them on Sunday. Mothers are walking alongside their children with shopping bags filled with body parts from mountains of rubble filled with corpses. It's an apocalyptic scene every day for the past 22 months. Now aid is being strangled by Israel and children are starving to death. We're watching appalling images of children under 5 that look like skeleton. Commissioners, you represent all of us, not just the loudest lobbyists. Since early 2024, we've been here demanding you act. Without the word genocide, this resolution is too little, too late. It comforts only those who want silence. History will not remember the procedural steps you took to avoid a word. It will remember whether you told the truth when it mattered. Children are dying in plain sight. Aid is blocked. Journalists are being killed. Entire neighborhoods are gone. Call it for what it is. Let Oakland County be remembered as a place that refused to lie in the face of atrocity. Name the genocide and then act like it matters, the way it matters to your residents here in Oakland County. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Heidi West, and I'm a Ferndale resident, mother, and 20-year public school teacher, and the descendant of American Jews who was raised knowing deep in my core the morals of never again for anyone. I'm here to urge you to put on the agenda and pass both resolutions, the diplomatic one and the world peace one, because they go together and complement each other. And we talk about coming together as a county and being nonpartisan, yet one of these isn't being voted on because of petty partisanship. If we can't work together here in Oakland County, how can we expect the country to? How can we teach these brilliant young high schoolers from our own county that came here to speak so eloquently, and this 11-year-old who brought me to tears, sorry, with his poem, the same age as my students and my son? What must they think of us right now? We should be setting an example for them. Also, the term Genocide Awareness Month should not have been taken off of the resolution. It was already on another resolution in the past, and if there was ever a time that it applies, it is now. According to the UN, dozens of international organizations that you've heard today, even parts of the Israeli government, have called this a purposeful starvation of babies and children. Also, recent New York Times article investigation showed that, in fact, Hamas is not stealing the aid, but Israel is deliberately weakening the families there to make ethnic cleansing and complete occupation of Palestine more easy, and they have as much said that by saying, quote, they want a complete takeover. You all need to be on the right side of history and do the basic minimum to end this starvation and call for diplomacy and world peace. It's the least you can do, but still very important because it will show cultural change and a turning tide to this diverse county whose families are clearly being directly affected by this genocide. Finally, because I'm a 6th grade language arts teacher that wants to show my students what we tried to do, I'll leave you with a quote from James Baldwin. The children are always ours, every single one of them, all over the globe. And I'm beginning to suspect that whoever is incapable of recognizing this may be incapable of morality. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Dahlia Kajbo, and I'm from Commerce Township. I'd like to first off thank you for letting me speak. I'm here today because the violence in Israel and Palestine is, as a mother, as a human, breaking my heart. And I believe Oakland County should stand for peace, compassion, human rights, no matter where people live. We are a community made up of many cultures, faiths, and histories that should give us a deeper understanding of what's at stake when lives are lost and families are torn apart. Right now, thousands of innocent people, children, mothers, fathers, grandparents, they're being killed. Homes are being reduced to rubble. Entire neighborhoods are being erased, and civilians are forced into famine. These acts, without a shred of doubt, amount to nothing less than genocide. These are human beings whose lives matter just as much as ours. We also know that the ongoing violence is fueled by a global military-industrial complex that profits from war, and by also armed settlers in the West Bank who terrorize Palestinian communities. These forces perpetuate suffering and make lasting peace seem impossible. I know we can't stop the war from here, but we can send a message about who we are as Oakland County residents. And Oakland County can declare that we value every human right, every human life, and we will not stay silent when civilians are targeted, and that we believe in finding solutions through dialogue and not destruction. I urge the board to pass these resolutions, which affirm our support for protection of civilian and human rights for everyone, calls for an immediate end to the violence and the occupation of Palestinian lands, urges our federal leaders to push for a ceasefire, a humanitarian aid, and an end to the systems that profit from war. And we need to also be assured that anyone who holds public office prioritizes their constituents over any PAC funds. Lastly, I'd like to say that peace is not a weakness, compassion is not naive, and the value of a human life does not change with their nationality, religion, or the borders that they were born behind. Let us be the voice that refuses to forget that the faces behind the headlines and that the heart that chooses humanity every single time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that completes everyone who wanted to speak during the first public comment. Oh. Mr. Flores.
Good morning. Buenos dias. My name is Mike Flores, and I am from Troy, and I am Oakland County. For 18 months, residents have been asking for a path forward. We've sent countless emails, made phone calls, spoken during public comment, and met with many of you privately, and yet leadership chose to ignore us. We felt angry, frustrated, ashamed. We worked behind the scenes to secure the votes, but nothing seemed to matter. So we found our own path by working in a bipartisan manner with Republicans. And it was a Republican, Commissioner Hoffman, who had the courage to introduce the World Peace Resolution, starting the committee review. That's what prompted Democrats to create their own resolution. Not the numerous calls, not the emails, not the public comments from their own constituents. Maybe I should have reached out to Sheets to support as part of my strategy, but here we are. And still, partisan pettiness is playing out on the floor. Let's focus on the real story here. An Oakland County Commissioner who happens to be a Republican introduced a values-based World Peace Resolution that now is being co-sponsored by all commissioners. An Oakland County Commissioner who happens to be a Democrat introduced a direction-based diplomatic leadership resolution that is now co-sponsored by all commissioners. Two resolutions, different in focus, but complementary in purpose, that together strengthen Oakland County and reflect the values and the directions that we see in ourselves as leaders in the world. That should be the headline. That should be the headline. Not the environment that has been created by leadership and their unwillingness to act. So I ask Commissioner Woodward, will you bring forward both resolutions to this floor? The World Peace Resolution by Hoffman and the Diplomatic Resolution by Johnson as part of the regular agenda to be voted on by all commissioners for all of them to vote yes. Es tiempo. It's time. Gracias, and thank you for your attention this morning.
Thank you very much.
My name is Alia Malik from Novi, and I am Oakland County. I want to first begin by thanking Commissioner Hoffman for taking the lead and for being the first Board of Commissioner on introducing the resolution which calls for an end to the Gaza genocide. As well, Commissioner Johnson, our team equally thanks you for sponsoring and advancing the diplomatic leadership resolution. Commissioners, you have before you resolutions that speak of peace, compassion, and the inherent dignity of every human life, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, religion, or background. You affirm that peace is not just the absence of war, but the presence of justice and compassion. You remind us that promoting peace and upholding human dignity are values that transcend politics. Today, I ask you to see Gaza through the very lens of your own words. In Gaza, 2 million people, over 2 million people, half of them children, are enduring one of the most severe humanitarian crises of our time. Families are just not impacted by conflict, they're being systematically starved under siege, denied food, water, and medicine, while bombs fall relentlessly on homes, schools, hospitals, and refugee camps. These are atrocities that will scar generations, just as your resolution warns. They are not unfortunate byproducts of war. They are actions that meet the legal definition of genocide under the 1948 UN Convention, killing members of a group, causing serious bodily and mental harm, and deliberately inflicting conditions of life calculated to bring about physical destruction. Oakland County's resolution affirms international law, the Geneva Conventions, and the UN Charter. Those very laws are being violated daily in Gaza. If we stay silent, our principles are hollow. Diplomacy does not mean neutrality in the face of atrocity. It means having the courage to name the crimes, call for accountability, and to demand immediate action, such as a permanent ceasefire, full humanitarian access, stopping the blockade, and an end to 70+ years of Israeli occupation. Oakland County has a proud tradition of standing with those impacted by injustice and displacement. To uphold the values you put on record, empathy, justice, and the protection of human life, you must apply them equally. That means naming that what is happening in Gaza for what it is, calling for an immediate and permanent ceasefire, and demanding full unimpeded humanitarian access. If we truly believe in the inherent dignity of every human life, then Gaza must be included in that circle of humanity, not tomorrow, not in history's hindsight, but now, where lives can still be saved. I hope this educates and answers the questions to those individuals as to what is happening in Gaza is a genocide, and as to why the Gaza genocide is recognized as part of Genocide Awareness Month. As such, I am extremely hopeful that all of you will thus vote for the resolutions put forward today, because they represent valuable, actionable steps towards justice, peace, and dignity for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who would like to speak during public comment? This is the first public comment. Seeing none, I will close the first public comment. And that'll bring it back to this side. We got reports of standing committees, and that'll bring us to our regular agenda. And I will call, and since we reordered things, I will call on the chair of the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee, Chairman Commissioner Brendan Johnson, to lead us through the next section.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. There are 3 items on the report from the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee. Mr. Chair, first, I'm just going to shut this laptop. I hope it doesn't ruin anything. Mr. Chair, first, I move the adoption of resolution, Resolution 2025-5621, entitled Reaffirming Oakland County's Role in Diplomatic Leadership.
Moved by Johnson, seconded by Miller. Any discussion? Commissioner Hoffman, followed by Commissioner Cavell.
Thank you, Chairman Woodward, and I'd like to ask the chair to reconsider and add the second resolution that I submitted to the committee. It was vetted by the committee. It was voted on, bipartisan. It should be on the agenda along with Brendan Johnson's thing. And I think Summer said it the best when she spoke. You and you alone can determine what is right and what is wrong. But what's frustrating to me is the fact that we send it to a committee, and this is the second time this has happened. First time it was unanimous, a resolution I had, and this one, it was voted on. It was bipartisan, it passed. It should be on this agenda. Who can be against world peace? And then some of the same members who are on that committee then come in and side with the chair, and I guess nullify their votes. I just don't understand it. I think this is the right thing to do. These as some members of the audience said, these two resolutions complement each other. Chairman Johnson, or Chairman of our committee, Johnson, he and I have talked about this. We both agree that they both complement each other, and I told him I'd support his, and I think he supports mine, and I'd like to add it back along with this one, and we should all vote for it, and we all should support world peace. I think this is just simple, so I'd like you to add it back on.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Cavell.
Thank you, Chair. To first follow what Bob was saying, I just want to lift up that if we believe in peace, humanity, and compassion, then I don't think we should be afraid to debate that in the open. But that is not what is happening here today. That is why I've also brought an amendment forward. If you all refresh, I can read it to you because I don't know if it was added to the board pack. But the amendment I have is a whereas clause that says, whereas Oakland County recognizes its previous support of Genocide Awareness Day, as Oakland County does not support genocides of the past, present, or future.
An amendment moved by Commissioner Cavell, seconded by Nelson. Any discussion?
Let's read it. Hang on.
All right.
Did you submit that in writing somewhere?
I think, yeah,
Oh,
well, it's not. All right. We're going to stand at ease to make sure that everyone gets a copy, so it's loaded up into the system. I'm going to ask the Democratic caucus to convene while it's being uploaded. The amendment slot is there, but not other things.
Okay, excuse me? What are we doing?
We're standing at ease so that the amendment can be loaded so everyone can read it.
Okay, it's here.
So we're going to stand at ease. Staff will get it ready if the Democratic caucus can reconvene, please.
So go to the caucus. They're going to go to the caucus and tell them how to vote. And they'll do it, unfortunately. Of course he is.
I mean, agenda.
Democratic caucus members.
The meeting today.
Democratic
was about
caucus members,
resolutions, right?
we're going to reconvene. I think there was a misunderstanding that we need to. Okay. We're going to come back into session. If commissioners can take their seats, we're going to come back into session. I'm going to ask the clerk to call roll to establish quorum.
Commissioners Cavell. Erickson Galt. Gershenson. Gingell. Hoffman. Johnson.
Here.
Joliet.
Here.
Long.
Here.
Lubes. Markham.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Nelson. Here. Powell.
Here. Here.
Smiley.
Here.
Smith Charles. Present. Spiz.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Whitebert. Here. Woodward.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. All right, I'm going to call up the Chair of the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee, Commissioner Brendan Johnson. We left off Commissioner
yes.
Cavell. We have the Cavell amendment before us.
Yes.
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 So we'll pick up where we left off. Any discussion on the Cavell amendment? Commissioner Gershenson, Vice Chair Gershenson.
Thank you. Of course, I do not support genocide, but I have an issue here with how it is being presented today. There is no acknowledgement of October 7th. There is no acknowledgement of Hamas. There is no acknowledgement of the release of prisoners. There is no understanding that Hamas has refused, continuously refused, offers from Israel for a ceasefire back to history, back to 1947. The Palestinians have completely rejected a two-state solution that has been offered to them numerous times, and if anybody wants documentation on that, I have it. So I do support a two-state solution, but on this amendment, I feel it is a direct affront to me, and I'm going to ask my fellow commissioners to reject this amendment.
Commissioner Cavell.
Commissioner Gershenson, I am slightly confused because what this
Will you
resolution...
direct your comments to me, the chair, Commissioner Cavell?
Aren't we having a discussion about the item?
This is not a two-way conversation.
Oh, okay.
This debate on your amendment.
Okay, so I guess, Chair, what I am confused about from Commissioner Gershenson is the resolution is talking about reaffirming Oakland County's role in diplomatic leadership. There's like, of course we're not talking about Hamas, we're talking about diplomatic leadership. Of course we're not talking about the IDF, we're talking about diplomatic leadership. That is a broad swath that covers lots of things. What I'd like to include in this is Oakland County's stance that part of that conversation includes us appreciating, respecting, and acknowledging that we do not want genocide to be part of something that we accidentally or intentionally support, whether it's in Gaza now or in the Sahel in 10 years or wherever. So that, I think that's not germane to the amendment.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote on the Cavell amendment.
Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas and 9 nays.
An insufficient number voting in the affirmative, the amendment fails. This moves us to the next item. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you very much. There's another amendment. It is Johnson Amendment number 2. Chair, I move the amendment.
Moved by Johnson, seconded by Lubes. Commissioner Johnson on the amendment.
Thanks. Just FYI for everyone watching, because you don't all have the iPads, this amendment merges the Hoffman resolution into this one. Don't worry about the grammar. It is what it is.
Okay. Commissioner Cavell, followed by Commissioner Hoffman.
Perhaps I miscounted, but it said 9-9, and I thought it would should actually be 10-8. So I don't know if the computer was wrong or if my quick counting was wrong. But can we see that real quick? Yeah, can we see that screen
The
again?
tally was 9-9.
Yeah, I think that number's wrong. I think it was actually 10-8, still against, but I just think
No, the tally's correct.
show it up again, please.
Do you want to say anything about the Johnson Amendment?
Yeah, I don't want to vote on anything until we see that tally again, so we can make sure that the numbers are right.
Okay, if staff could please get the tally back for Commissioner Cavell, we'll move on to Commissioner Hoffman. Commissioner
Maybe
Hoffman.
I counted wrong, so my bad. Is 9-9?
Commissioner Hoffman, on the amendment, on the Johnson Amendment.
Okay, Brandon voted. Yes. That's why it's 9-9. Oh, okay. Got you. Never mind.
Okay,
You're good.
guys.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hoffman has the floor.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Woodward.
Thank you.
I'd also like my name added to this resolution along with Commissioner Johnson's, and I'd like to invite anyone else who would like to sign on to this.
If you can notify the clerk, and your commissioners will be added to the resolution.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote on the Johnson Amendment.
Commissioner Cavell?
No.
Mr. Chair, you have 17 yeas, 1 nay.
Sufficient number voting in the affirmative. The resolution is passed, and proof that we can all come together. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Actually, that's the amendment. That brings us back to the main motion then.
Right.
Yeah, so, okay, we've got one more vote on the topic. This is the overall resolution. If commissioners want to co-sponsor it, let the clerk notify, and we will include all commissioners' names. Any further discussion on the resolution? Commissioner Cavell.
I just want to lift up what we're doing here, which is voting for a study group that, likely as we've seen with other experiences with study groups related to hot button issues, will likely not meet or conclude anything. This is a diversion, and I think it undercuts people's faith in their local government. I will not be supporting it because the intention of this is not trustworthy.
Commissioner Markham, followed by Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I wasn't going to address this, but since Mr. Cavell said what he just did, I look at this step a little differently. I like to think that we have finally reached a place where the Republicans and the Democrats can vote together on this and hopefully move it along. So I look at it as a positive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not going to read the entire statement that Commissioner Erickson-Gall kindly read during Lago, which is, I think you said, longer than the resolution itself. I have lots of thoughts about this resolution. My one big thought, though, all right, so the history of why there were two resolutions and blah, 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 there really weren't. There was always really one, and it underwent a series of edits. And for those who don't know, my professional background is in foreign affairs. Both of my degrees are in foreign affairs. I worked at the U.S. State Department. I care passionately about foreign affairs. I am, however, not working at the State Department right now. I am not a congressperson. I am not a Secretary of State. I am a county commissioner for the great county of Oakland, for the people who live next to me in my community, and that is what I care about. So when we have this opportunity to actually engage in the topic that I care about, in as much as all the rest of us occasionally get to engage in the topics that we care about, right? Like any social work issue, Charlie, you do care quite a bit about. And lots of us have our professional backgrounds that we are blessed to bring occasionally into our work. And frankly, just because of how our federated country was set up, I don't get that opportunity a whole lot, right? It's not the role of a county government to direct US foreign policy. So this is the one area, though, where we have a window of doing a little bit of good, of doing a little bit of action in U.S. foreign policy, and that's the thing that I care about. So when Commissioner Hoffman did introduce the resolution, and the resolution came into the Lago Committee for review, it was a fantastic opportunity, and I'm grateful for it. to really look at what we can do and examine our toolbox. And I searched the toolbox, and there is one avenue where we actually do have quite a bit of engagement, right? And that's where Metro Detroit happens to be a really powerful place. Metro Detroit is a powerful area full of really innovative people who are moving the world forward in tangible ways. And as a result, we are host to several diplomatic communities. That's a fantastic blessing that a lot of counties don't have. They just simply don't. Us and our neighboring communities in Macomb and Wayne do have quite a bit of a presence internationally. And we as county government have one really good role, and that's to be a good host and to encourage a lot of the things that I talk about, encourage building bridges, encourage commercial relationships, encourage cultural exchanges, and show the world in our little way, in our little corner of the world, what we are, and who we can be, and learn from those who are visiting us. So, no, I mean, something that has bothered me a long time, Commissioner Cavell, is that I don't think we've done a pretty good job of doing that. I don't think we have. And I think you can ask a lot of people, I don't think we have. There are a few communities around the country who do an okay job at that, but the Detroit community is not one of them. So I really take issue with the allegation that a study group is unwarranted, because we're not doing a good job, and I'd like to get to a place where we're doing a good job. And two, that it would be ineffective or somehow like irrelevant, because frankly, this is relevant. This is the whole, our toolbox is so limited with what we can do regarding this crisis, regarding so many crises. God, I would love to be able to actually address so many of the things that are going wrong with this world. Unfortunately, I am just little old me in my corner of the world. So I am seizing this opportunity to actually do something where I can, in addition to making obvious narrative endorsements of my values, which I am proud to profess, right? But I didn't want to take this opportunity and squalor it away and just say things, because it's important to say things, but it's really, really important to not waste opportunities to do things too. So that's the purpose of the study group. Folks, my heart has really weighed heavy for so long about this issue, and I'm just very glad that I think right now we can actually get to a good spot where we're putting our votes where our values are and are moving Oakland County forward. It's forward and backward, and I think that this is a good opportunity to move us forward. I'm grateful for Commissioner Hoffman's leadership, and I look forward to all of your support in this resolution and all of your co-sponsorship. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. All right. Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote. We are voting on the resolution as amended.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavell? No.
Mr. Chair, you have 16 yeas, 2 nays.
A sufficient number voting in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. All right. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If it is technically possible, I'd like to open the board for co-sponsorship. If not, that's okay. I'm not sure what's
If people just notify the clerk, we can add it.
Okay. Notify the clerk if you'd like to co-sponsor that. Mr. Chair, next I would like to move the adoption of a series of procedural and guideline changes to the 2025 to 2028 board rules.
Moved by Johnson, seconded by Powell. Any discussion? Commissioner Hoffman.
Thank you, Chairman Woodward. Who decides where we sit now? I don't understand. We're going to mod. Is that what we're on right now, the rules?
Yeah.
Why? I remember they did this in grade school. The teacher would tell us where to sit. How's it set up now? I'm confused. How do we decide where we sit in here now?
There is a collaborative effort between the Democratic caucus and the Republican caucus that establish the seats.
But we're
And that
gonna
will
change
continue.
that and give the
It will
power-
continue, in practice, it will continue as more formality to make it work.
Wait, it's gonna be the same, but it's not going to be because the chair has, why are we doing this?
Thank you. Commissioner?
No, I'm not done. I need to know why if you want me to vote on something. Could somebody
I'm giving the
explain
answer.
to
This
me
was
why?
discussed in caucus, and we're moving forward.
What?
Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just point of clarification. We're talking about item B, right? Because there's going to be two separate votes. So specifically, right now, what's on
This
the
is
table
item B. Yes,
B?
correct.
Okay. So Chairman Woodward, this amendment is not about better governance. It's about control. Changing the word party to caucus in our board rules doesn't change the fact that committee assignments are meant to serve the people, not to punish dissent. On July 22nd, Chairman, you acted without authority by removing dissenting commissioners from committees, and now you want to rewrite the board rules to make it look legal. And this goes beyond just the chair's behavior. It's about the commissioners who continue to remain silent, look the other way, and endorse unethical behavior with the votes. This is how injustice becomes policy. If members of this body support these amendments, you are setting a dangerous precedent, turning this board into a fan club for insiders instead of a voice for the people. Oakland County residents and Oakland County employees deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Nelson. Commissioner Cavell.
So, just to help people that are watching this, what is happening here is not just a changing in the seating chart. Because if you look at page 2 of the resolution, what we are seeing is a playing out of a pattern of unethical behavior by our leadership that has been exacerbated by 2 Democrats leaving the caucus. And so our chairman is now retaliating. And so what's happening at this moment is, as Kristen said, you are covering up your mistake, which is breaking the rules to remove us from committee. And so because you broke the rules, you are now asking us with this resolution to change the rules. This continues your pattern of unethical behavior. So I leave this big question to everyone at home and also to our Democratic commissioners. Who do you work for? The people of Oakland County or Chair Woodward?
Thank you, Commissioner. I'll just state that the practice of this board for more than 20 years, the majority caucus picks the seats of the people who sit on the majority caucus seats, and the minority caucus picks the seats that sit on the minority caucus. That has not changed. This does not change it. This is clarifying the practice that has always been in place in Oakland County.
Are we talking about item B
Without
or C?
any, Commissioner Nelson, you already spoke, Cavell spoke, Hoffman spoke. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Excuse me, Mr.
Commissioner.
Chair, there's another amendment on here too I want to talk about.
This is the item. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Wait a minute, excuse me, there's another amendment at the bottom regarding votes. Could I speak to that one?
That's the next item.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was all in one.
Yes, please.
But if it's not broken, why are we fixing something?
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote. Commissioner Spiz on item 10B.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just, one question I have. I understand what you're doing here and voting on the seats. Yeah, I understand that. Historically, we have, majority caucus has always assigned the seats within this chamber. Understand that. But where I'm a little confused and want to have more discussion, debate hopefully, is on item 6 where you're changing the word party to caucus. I understand why you're doing that. But it drives to a bigger question, which Commissioner Cavell kind of touched on, is what happened, I think 2 weeks ago, with a letter that was written to 2 members of this chamber, removing them from their committees. They were both in attendance at those committees, but were not allowed to sit at the table and or vote, which drove my request earlier today is why I wanted to switch regular to consent. Because I'd like to see Corp Counsel opinion, because they were there to vote, right? And they were on those committees, and per our board rules 5C, they cannot be removed unless it's done by this body. right? So to me, they were not formally removed from those committees, but they were formally or informally not allowed to sit at the table and not allowed to vote. So what does that do to every action item that was taken by those committees? In my opinion, that makes them null and void because they were not allowed to sit at the table. So from a consent perspective, I don't think we can vote on the consent until Corp Counsel gives us an opinion on what we need to do for those items.
You are incorrect.
Excuse me?
You are incorrect.
I am incorrect.
Yes.
Please elaborate.
Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote.
Why do we have discussion if we're not off discussion?
You got to have a discussion. You the chair. You run the meeting. You know this, Hoffman.
Well, since I haven't gotten the vote.
Are we prompting the vote?
Okay.
No. Yes, correct.
Commissioner Taylor? Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 10 yeas, 8 nays.
A sufficient number voting in the affirmative. The amendment is adopted. This brings us to the next item. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would now like to move the adoption of Resolution 2025-5661, named Appointment Revised Standing Committee Assignments for 2025.
Moved by Johnson, seconded by Powell.
Mr. Chair, point of clarification, I thought we were voting on item B as well. Those are two separate. Is that what we're presently on, or did we move on? So according to the agenda I'm looking at, amendment that we just discussed in regards to the rules and procedures was item B. That was the vote we took, right?
Yeah.
And so
Correct.
we should be on to discussing item C, which is revised standing committee assignments, right?
That was
That's
the
what I
motion.
just-
Is that what?
that-
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I wanted
No, you're good.
clarification on that. Can I?
Commissioner Long.
Okay, so I will not be supporting this revised standing committee assignments because I do believe that Commissioner Nelson and Commissioner Cavell were elected by their constituents in their respectful districts, and they deserve the right, they have the right to serve on their committees and have their voices and opinions heard and to be able to represent their communities that overwhelmingly, I think they both won by a lot, overwhelmingly elected them. So I am a no on taking them off their committees and adding new people. So I will be a no on this vote.
Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Rearranging seats to push dissenting commissioners to the back of the auditorium isn't about order. It's about punishment. It's a public display meant to isolate and diminish the voices of those who refuse to fall in line. This chamber belongs to the people of
Commissioner
Oakland
Nelson,
County
that
and
is
not
not
to
the
one.
item that we're discussing. We're discussing the committee assignments. All right.
So we're not on item C.
C is
Commissioner Cavell, followed by Commissioner Hoffman.
I'd really like to go back to what Commissioner Spiz said about getting the legal opinion on this, because he makes a really good point citing the board rules. So I think one,
Thank you, Commissioner Cavell.
I was in the middle of a sentence, so I think one, Commissioner Spiz has a point that needs to be followed up on, so expect to receive an email that you'll be CC'd on to Corp Counsel. I know you're the only one that's allowed to get Corp Counsel opinions, and you're the only one that's allowed to read Corp Counsel opinions, but still worth a try. Second, I guess if this is going to pass, to all my Finance Committee members, please don't forget that Oakland County has a 52% general fund balance of $291 million. We have never had more money in the
Commissioner
bank to
Cavell,
do more
please
good
keep your
with
comments to the
for
motion
people
before
that
us.
are in need of aging programs, mental health
Okay,
programs,
Commissioner
housing,
Cavell.
and public health.
You are out of order now. Commissioner Hoffman, followed by Commissioner Spiz.
Let somebody else go first. I think
Commissioner
my
Spiz.
question got answered.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion to set this aside until we get Corp Counsel opinion on this matter.
Second.
A motion by Spiz to table this item, seconded by Cavell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Roll call vote, please.
Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote. Please prompt the vote for a record roll call on Commissioner Spiz's motion.
Mr. Chair, you have 8 yeas, 10 nays.
Insufficient number voting in the affirmative, the motion fails. Commissioner Miller, followed by Commissioner Hoffman.
I ask that we call the vote.
To what?
Call the vote for.
Motion to call the vote by Commissioner Miller, seconded by Commissioner Powell. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it.
Roll call vote, please.
Wait a minute. I had my hand up. I said, let somebody else.
I called on you. You passed. Commissioner Miller went after you. He made a motion to call the question. That's how it works. Yeah. We're moving forward.
Can I ask Commissioner Miller
So,
to
Madam Clerk,
rescind
please
his
prompt the vote.
Or rescind his motion?
Mr.
for a
Chair, can you
minute?
clarify what we're,
We're going to be voting on 10C.
would now be the time to offer an amendment before so?
No, we're calling the question. The question's been called.
No, we're roll calling to see if we should call the vote, because we asked for a roll call.
Yes.
That is correct.
We're roll calling to see if we should call
If we, okay, all right, to end debate, wait, so instead of the motion, we can do a record roll call on calling the question so that we can vote on this matter and move on with the business. So we'll do a verbal one. This is easier. So this is a motion, this is a roll call on the Miller call the question to vote on it.
Everybody knows what they're voting on, right? You know what you're voting on? Yes. Call of the vote. Okay. Commissioners Cavell?
No, more discussion.
Erickson Galt? Yes. Gershenson? Yes. Oh, no, Gengel. Hoffman?
No.
Johnson?
Yes.
Joliet?
No.
Long?
No.
Lubes?
Yes.
Markham?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Nelson?
No.
Powell?
Yes.
Smiley?
No.
Smith Charles?
Yes.
Spiz?
No.
Taylor?
Yes.
Whitebert?
No.
Woodward?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 10 yeas, 8 nays.
The question has been called. Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote on item 10C.
Mr. Chair, you have 10 yeas, 8 nays.
Sufficient number voting in the affirmative. The motion carries. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. That concludes the regular agenda items for the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee.
Thank you very much. This will move us on to public health and safety, and we'll call up the chair, Commissioner Penny Loops.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There is one item from the Public Health and Safety Committee. It's a motion to request additional funding for the Oxford High School mass shooting independent after-action review report.
Moved by Commissioner Lubes, seconded by Commissioner Spiz. Commissioner Long, followed by Joliet.
Okay, so on this, I realize this was a tragic event, and obviously none of us want this to ever happen again, but we originally authorized $500,000 for this RFP, for this proposal, and now the company is coming to ask for another $135,000 to finish the report, which is an additional 25% or 27% increase in the contract that they originally bid. So I am going to be not supporting this, and I was told off record that we will get our after-action review report, whether we support this or not, that the company is not going to give us this vital report. I am just don't want to set a precedence of when we go out for bids that someone comes back, these companies and consultants, with a 27% increase in the contract. So I just think that's astronomical. They made their bid. I heard they did a lot of work. I get it, but you know, that sometimes you have to do a more responsible bid and, you know, take that into account. And sometimes consultant may have to lose a little money if they didn't bid properly. So I will not be supporting this. I was told we would still get our after-action review report to do with the Oxford shooting, and I just don't feel like we need to vote yes to give them more money to finish it. Thank you.
Commissioner Spiz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As the representative for Oxford and as a father who had children in that school that day, this is very important to me, right? Getting this AAR done. I know there's families out there that are still hurting, and I agree with points that Commissioner Long make. I am one of the ones that probably stand up and is one of the loudest when it comes to consultants on this chamber. But in discussions with Homeland Security and the work that this agency has done, I think this is a valid request from them. And when we went out for the original RFP, we put a cap on at $500,000. They didn't have to come in, or didn't come in with an additional number. They could have came in and higher. And based on some initial evaluation of other RFPs or other ARs that were done, they've come in a lot higher. Some have been in a couple $1 million range, all right? We put a cap on there, self-proclaimed cap of $500,000. So they're coming back for a request for an additional $135,000. Do I like it? No. Do I think it's fair? Yes. I think they've put in the work. I think they're going to put in a top-notch report, which is going to help our agencies. You know, this is not just for those that were in Oxford. This is for the sheriff's office, the hundreds of municipalities that responded to that day. It helps them better understand what actions took place that day, what we can do better going forward. Yes, we all never want this to happen again. Never. Unfortunately, it did shortly thereafter in the city of Rochester Hills. So these AARs are important for our agencies to get a full understanding of what happened across the board. Dispatch, fire, police, and any other agency that reported that day, so that we can correct any minor mistakes that may have been made, or even if there weren't mistakes. Could we done things better? Could we, instead of doing X, we did Y that gets us there 30 seconds sooner, right? Everybody knows in incidents like this, seconds matter. So to me, $135,000 is a small amount to pay to get this report finalized and into the hands of the people that need it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Miller. Oh, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you, Chairman.
Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Joliet was in front of you. Commissioner Joliet, followed by Commissioner Miller.
Thank you. I fully support this initiative, and I voted initially on the $500,000 that we approved. My challenge, I echo with my fellow Commissioner Long, in that we have a bidding process, and it's unfortunate that the vendor couldn't adhere to the amount that they were allotted. And I also concur with Commissioner Long that we heard off record that a report will be submitted. So I will not be supporting the additional dollars, but I do support this initiative.
Thank you. Commissioner Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say I support my brother Commissioner in his district. Typically, I would vote no on it when a company comes back or an organization, but in this situation, like, it brings closure. It ends like the thought of like what happened, right? And it gives individuals the opportunity to have a little bit of closure and for that community. So I will be voting yes on this.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Powell.
And I was going to say, I'm also going to vote yes on this. And thank you, Spears, for breaking that down so we understand what was cause for this to happen and why it is before us. So thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote.
Mr. Chair, you have 14 yeas, 4 nays.
A sufficient number voting in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. Commissioner Lubes.
There's nothing further from the Public Health and Safety Committee this afternoon.
All right, thank you. I think that concludes the regular agenda items. That brings us back to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda? Moved by Commissioner Smith-Charles, seconded by Commissioner Miller. Any discussion on any of the consent items? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote.
Mr. Chair, you have 16 yeas, 2 nays.
Sufficient number voting in the affirmative. The consent agenda is adopted. That will bring us now to new and miscellaneous business. Commissioner Long, I believe, has an item for introduction.
Using my, just wanted to introduce sponsorship of the 2025 third annual White Lake Township Trunk or Treat, and that's a referral to finance.
Referred without objection. Commissioner Markham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My item is to formulate a study to examine our historical commission, our historical society, and the county parks, and try and assess overlap and work together. So I'm asking that we refer this to LAGO.
Be referred to LAGO without objection. Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before I move forward with introducing, I just want to get some clarification. The resolution that I'm about to introduce, it should be under new and miscellaneous business, and it is not.
It is not? Okay.
And
Is it prepared with staff?
I
Is it
appreciate that.
in civic clerk? Okay. Hold on one second.
Yes, it is in civic clerk.
For staff, Commissioner Nelson has a resolution for introduction, but it doesn't seem to be on our portal.
For the record, it was submitted prior to this board meeting.
Just prior to it?
It was submitted yesterday morning.
Okay. Just we're going to get a second and then, is it now? Okay. If you refresh, it should, I'm refreshing, it's not. Oh, 1 minute. See, jump too fast. Just wait, just give it a second. We're going to give it a couple more seconds. We're going to take a shortcut. All right, I'm getting the thumbs up that we can refresh. There it is.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to introduce miscellaneous resolution amending the board rules to ensure equal access to corporation counsel and legal opinions for all commissioners, and I'd like to refer this to the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee.
Referred without objection. I see there's another one. Commissioner Cavell.
Thank you. I have a resolution condemning federal retraction of enforcement in Equal Employment Opportunity Commission versus Sheets Incorporated, and affirming Oakland County's commitment to equal employment opportunity. I look forward to attending that in Lago, which I'd like to be referred to.
Referred to Lago without objection. I think that's all the items. That will bring us to announcements. Are there any announcements?
Mr. Chair, I think there's one more.
I see just 4. We did all 4.
I swear there was a road commission item.
Okay. We're on to announcements. Commissioner Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I would like to, I mentioned this in caucus, give a shout out to our prosecutor's office and our sheriff's office for the work they've been doing on the human trafficking, striking it out, and so people know that if you're in Oakland County and you're trying to human traffic, we're coming for you. So I appreciate them.
Thank you. And I want to applaud all the committee members that have been working on it.
Thank you, thank you. Also, I want to say is that September 1st is Labor Day. Make sure you go to a Labor Day parade. If you need one or need where to go, let me know. I'll make sure I get you the spot. And a shout out to my Chaldean Community Foundation for expanding their footprint in West Bloomfield, servicing over 48,000 people. 30% of them are not Chaldean, and they do all kinds of services. So I want to give a shout out to them and expanding their footprint outside of Macomb into Oakland County. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other announcements? Commissioner Ann Anderson-Galt, followed by Commissioner Smith-Charles.
Thank you, Chair. Wanted to make sure to invite everyone to Rebin in the Heights and Madison Heights on Saturday, September 13th from 10 to 3. And once again, thank my fellow commissioners for supporting this wonderful event. I went last year. It was a blast, so please join us.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Smith-Charles.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to thank the Woodward Dream Cruise Committee. Some of you are way more informed about the Dream Cruise and its history and how long it's been and all that good stuff. And but what was striking, we were invited to just like a kickoff last week, and just the amount of manpower that is required with our sheriff's office and all of our various community partners. So just wanted to lift that. I mean, it's definitely a point of pride, and apparently gets picked up across numerous networks and stations across the country. So it does shine a great light here on Oakland County, and that's what we want to do. So just lifting that up, and I hope everyone has a great time if you decide to participate.
Great. As we say, that those who live off the Woodward track, pick your side before the morning starts, because you might be there all night. But yes, it's a great event. Any other announcements? Commissioner Smiley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to, and I think I can speak for everyone here, pass our condolences on to Road Commission employee, Cedric Jones, who passed away, as well as two of his fellow workers who are in pretty bad shape in the hospital right now as well. So God bless them all.
Thank you very much. Yes. Any further announcements? Seeing none, this will bring us to the second public comment of the meeting. And some people had signed up, so we'll start there. And if you didn't sign up and wish to speak, this is an opportunity to talk about any topic. Same as before, everyone's afforded 3 minutes. Please address your comments to me, the chair. There's a little timer up here to keep you on track. And I will start from the top. I will start with Mrs. Robin McGregor. Welcome.
Robin McGregor from Waterford. 2 weeks ago, you took a vote on ethics, financial disclosure, and whistleblowing. Today, Commissioner Johnson stated that he puts his votes where his values are. As a proud Democrat, I watched my Democratic Party vote against it. 15 years ago, Democrats on this very board, when they were the minority, brought forth an ethics resolution. July 2010, Commissioner Tim Greimel authorized the miscellaneous resolution 10175, the empowerment of Oakland County's ethics ordinance. Dave Woodward, Dave Coulter were among the co-sponsors. It passed in the General Government Committee in December. The support of the commission, Marsha Gershenson supported it, Jim Nash, and even Republicans like Rumstead supported this piece. But the Republican chair at the time refused to put it on the board agenda. It stalled. Not because of lack of merit, but because of lack of political will by the majority, like we've seen today.
It makes me sad because I believe in the system, and it looks like it's failing me as a constituent in Waterford. I work hard in my community. Furthermore, you forward to 2012, the committee was renamed, Grimal and Coulter were gone, the resolution was resent, the loving Commissioner Nash made a motion, and it was discharged, and again, just like Charlie and Kristen did, 10 Democrats supported the discharge, 13 Democrats opposed it. It failed. Among the fight, it was Dave Woodward, Marcia Gershenson, Nancy Corll, and Jim Nash that supported ethics. Now, we're here in 2025. Charlie introduced the ethics resolution that modeled directly on these same values, the same principles, the same goals. Yet when the opportunity came forward, the only two people that stood proud to support it, that were there before, should have been able to do that, were Marcia and Dave. But they opposed it. I'm asking this board, and I have to ask you directly, if we are not about ethics, what are we? 15 years later, just tell me what has changed. Thank you.
Thank you. Elizabeth Kelly, followed by Taylor Ebernard.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Kelly. I'm the interim executive director at Hope Shelters, and I reside in Holly. People over politics, and that's what a piece of mail that I received from Oakland County said. The county is touting a $291 million surplus that has been saved, and this is the biggest surplus that I can remember, and I've lived here a long time. So my question is, how much of that $291 million are you going to invest in the people of Oakland County? A good portion of them who are struggling to live, eat, work, and play here. So I have a plan. How about $10 million for affordable housing? And an additional $1 million going to each organization that runs shelters to their annual fund to invest in our budgets. Right now, as a shelter, we get funding from the state and federal governments, and who knows how long that's going to last, but nothing from local government or county government. The essential services that organizations like Hope Shelters provides are critical for a thriving community, and instead, we must fundraise for 50% of our budget. And in a good year, we make bank. In a bad year, a bad fundraising climate like it's been since the pandemic, we struggle. And I'm tired of the struggle and a community that expects a lot from agencies like Hope, with officials calling me to immediately take someone in they know that is experiencing homelessness, when we've had to turn a dozen away because we're full. Without agencies like Hope, Lighthouse, CHN, we become California. The safe shelter that Hope provides stabilizes individuals in crisis. To end homelessness, we must advance evidence-based policy and increase the availability of and access to safe shelter, affordable quality housing, healthcare, and other supportive services. The work to end homelessness is urgent and persistent, and yet the homeless service workforce is woefully underpaid and overworked, resulting in low capacity and high turnover. Too many of our frontline staff are vulnerable to experiencing homelessness themselves. We're not a bunch of do-gooders doing good works. We're professionals working for a legitimate business that helps individuals in crisis the same way that the hospital emergency room does. As you debate this year's budget, I urge you to consider the value of soft infrastructure in agencies like Hope Shelters. These are places you depend on every day, and make sure Human Services have the funds that they need so that those in a housing crisis get timely shelter and resolution to homelessness. After all, isn't human life at least as important as the Detroit Museum of Art's Van Gogh or the state-of-the-art penguin exhibit in the zoo, both nonprofits and organizations that get taxpayer money? And in Michigan, 9 people out of every 10,000 experience homelessness. It comes to about 1,167 in Oakland County. However, homelessness is geographically concentrated and considerably higher in Southeast Michigan. So please consider this for the budget. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Taylor Eberhardt, followed by Natalie Hessel.
Ooh, I'm nervous, y'all. It's my first one. So, hi, my name is Taylor Eberhardt. I'm a clinical social worker, and I also serve as the Director of Programs for Housing Stability at Community Housing Network. We're a local nonprofit organization dedicated to addressing homelessness and housing insecurity here in Oakland County and surrounding areas. CHN is the largest permanent supportive housing provider in Oakland County. We've leveraged over $120 million to create nearly 1,000 affordable homes in Michigan, including developments right here in Oakland County. And last year alone, we helped thousands of individuals and families find or keep safe, affordable housing. We provide extensive housing and homeless services in poor funding climates. But before I was a social worker or a director or even just a housing case manager, I was homeless. I've been unhoused, sleeping in my car, navigating resources, and wondering how to make it to the next day. I'm here today just not as a professional, but as someone who understands how housing services change lives. Right now, with these monies available in the budget, I urge you to invest in housing and homeless services. Housing costs are rising, wages aren't keeping up, and more families, working families, seniors, veterans, and youth, are slipping into housing instability. Also, the staff providing these services are often at risk of the same housing instability that they're helping their 40-plus caseloads. It affects our entire, it doesn't just affect them, it affects our entire community, from overburdened emergency services to strained healthcare and public safety systems. We know what ends homelessness: housing. An investment of at least $10 million in homeless and housing services is not just spending, it's prevention, it's dignity, it's safety, and it's smart. We already know what works, as Elizabeth shared. We're professionals. We know that emergency shelter saves lives, rapid rehousing works, homeless prevention works, diversion works, permanent supportive housing works. We have the soft infrastructure for this, and what we lack is enough funding to meet the scale of the need. This would allow us to expand proven solutions, strengthen partnerships, and most importantly, offer people hope with a real path forward. We urge you to fund and expand shelter capacity for shelters like Hope and Lighthouse, increase supportive services that allow us not to only help people find housing but keep it, as well as strengthen our prevention programs to stop homelessness before it starts. Let's make sure that the opportunities exist for everyone in our county. Together we can ensure every person in our community has the dignity, stability, and opportunity that comes from having a home. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Natalie Hessel, followed by Nabel Sater.
Hi, I didn't prepare anything because I figured I was just going to talk and listen to what was going on today. I'm going to start off by saying I actually work at Hope Shelters. I have been struggling for 5 years to work, not because I did not want to work, not because I wasn't capable of working, but because I am a victim. I'm a victim of domestic violence. For 5 years, I've been terrorized and tormented, and my children as well. Things have been obstructed and taken away from us each and every single day. Every month I am struggling, trying to make ends meet, to feed my children, to put gas in my car. This month is probably the last month I will be able to stay at my apartment. So I might be a guest at Hope Shelter. I'm in the making. People think that domestic violence is just getting punched, stabbed, shot, kicked, tossed against a wall. It's not. So I am the one that nobody ever seems to want to help. Nobody who ever wants to sit there and listen. I'm the one that gets the litigation abuse. I'm the one that spent $200,000 plus at Oakland County for nonsense, just complete nonsense. That's money from my children. That's money to feed them. That's money to house them. That's money to take them to school. It's disgusting. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave you this book because this book I read when I worked at the other nonprofit where I was assaulted by the person that I worked for, trying to make ends meet. I suggest you read it. Read it. There are multiple versions of this already. This was one of the best books I ever read. because it will actually educate you on domestic violence, on alcoholism, on mental illness, on so many topics, because there's not just one little thing that makes somebody homeless. It's really a system, it's a community, and it's everybody. And people need to start actually listening, not just, oh, I'm in a meeting. Start listening to what people are saying and start putting faces to the names. That's all I'm asking. And if you want to know about litigation abuse, there you go. It's actually a law.
Thank you very much, Natalie. Next up, we've got Nabel Sater, followed by Carolyn Robiadek.
I'm so sorry, hang on, that happened. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna hold these same pictures again. One quick comment before I go on to what I was gonna say. Us watching the proceeding, what happened here over the past 3-4 hours, how the sausage is made, I think I'm gonna go vegetarian. If this is how politics is conducted here at a micro level, I can just imagine what the hell is going on in Washington, D.C., right? This is the reason why we can't get anything done. This is the reason why we have so much waste in our government here and in Washington, D.C. at a state level and a federal level. In my previous comment, I noticed some very interesting reactions at my comments. Interesting that they find the comment strange or offensive, but they don't find the genocide one bit troublesome. For the past few months, specifically since March, Israel has, on top of genocide by weapons, moved to genocide by starvation. Both these genocides have been fueled, supported, condoned, defended, and funded by our tax dollars, yours and mine. And yes, they are genocide. Not by my definition, but by many world-renowned individuals and organizations. Many of them are Jewish. Yes, they are Jewish. By the way, just for the record, I've been a member of Jewish Voice for Peace for 18 years, a very active member of Jewish Voice for Peace. So ask yourself, is this how you want America to be remembered or mentioned? So let's be very clear here. Israel is not America's ally. I'm from that region, okay? Israel is not the only democracy in the Middle East. The Israeli occupation forces, otherwise referred to as Israel Defense Forces, is not the most moral army in the world. Remember, they omitted one letter in that word. It's the most mortal army, not moral. Add a T after the R. It's the most mortal army in the world. Israel is not the safe home for the Jews. Israel has become the graveyard of the Jews. And it's not because Palestinians hate Jews, because Palestinians hate their occupiers, and they're resisting their occupiers. Israel is not making America safe. The contrary, Israel is putting America in grave danger. Do we ever wonder why people in our oppressed nations scream death to America and not many places, and not death to China, death to Australia, death to France, death to India, death to Brazil? Why is it only death to America? Why? Did you ever wonder why? Ask yourself that. So no, they do not hate our way of life, but they despise what so-called values, our values, we call them values, because the only thing of great value that we see from the United States is the value of the bombs you keep dropping on us every goddamn day. This is the only value we see, the only thing of value, of a lot of value, a lot of money, every day. The war in Gaza was costing $300 million a day, $300 million a day. I don't know how much your budget is for the year. $300 million a day, let that sink in. $300 million a single day. And we're paying for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Carolyn, followed by Bella Levitt.
My name is Carolyn Robiadek. I'm an Oakland County resident, an Oakland County worker, and I'm the manager of Hope Shelters. In Oakland County, you currently have 2 full year-round homeless shelters. In Oakland County, you have Hope Shelters for individuals and Lighthouse for families. In Oakland County, there are 1,300 homeless individuals on the streets due to high cost of housing every evening. Hope last year had around 400 individuals come through our doors last year and housed around 200 to their own homes within Oakland County. Most of Hope's staff have a second job in order to be able to live in Oakland County. Hope, as an employer, wants to be able to pay our staff a living wage so that they can continue to live in Oakland County and protect the most vulnerable. In order to end homelessness, a person must be able to get into a shelter. In order to end homelessness, a person must be able to access to housing resources. In order to end homelessness, a person must be able to get case management to help them through the tough housing process. In order to end homelessness, a person must find affordable housing. In order to end homelessness, a person must trust a place to go to start this whole process. Hope Shelters can and has been doing this for over 10 years, since 1998. And this is why you should help us continue this process. I have been at Hope for 10 years. I see 400 individuals a year. What is that, 40,000 people? I can remember names, faces, voices. I might not remember all names, but I can walk into a gas station, stand on a streetlight, and someone will pound on my door and wave at me. They'll knock on my window. I've had a Congress aide come to my window at 8 o'clock at night and pound on my window to get somebody in, and I've got them in. This winter will be tough. We have no funding to bring people off the streets. When it's 5 degrees, my heart breaks, and I will still bring them in. We will not have winter sheltering at hotelings because we have lack of funding. I'm asking you to support your homeless shelters in Oakland County to get our most vulnerable off the streets. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bella? Bella Levitt, followed by Amrit Coley, but I don't see him. Did Amrit leave? So Max Glick will be next. Bella, welcome.
Hello, my name is Bella. I am an Oakland County resident, and I'm also the Director of Data Quality at Hope Shelters. So to Carolyn's point, I ran some numbers from January till just yesterday. We've already seen 366 guests through our doors, and we still have a lot of time left in the year, especially with the colder months. The number seems to increase every single year, and we're still only able to help a fraction of people who need it. We're consistently turning people away because we're at capacity. I handle the sheets every day. At least 1 to 10 people are being turned away because we don't have the space for them. We are looking to build a new shelter coming up, which will solve part of the problem, but the shelter building will only help ease the burden if we can sustain it. That means we have to be able to appropriately pay and train our staff to make things run as efficiently and trauma-informed as they can. And in order to do that, we're asking for support from the county to invest locally and so that our guests can become the best possible citizens and join us in these wonderful things we can all do. Additionally, we're having guests stay with us a lot longer due to unavailability of Section 8 vouchers and that housing assistance from up above, which means we have to take some roundabout ways to get them there. It takes longer, which means we are unfortunately able to help less people. We can help more at this new shelter, but only with your support. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Max, followed by the Honorable Donnie Steele.
Good afternoon. My name is Max Glick, resident of Ferndale and Director of Program Development with Lighthouse. We're headquartered in Pontiac and serve all of Oakland County. Lighthouse is a multifaceted social service agency providing family and youth shelter, food assistance, housing development, and supportive services for Oakland County's most vulnerable residents. Last year, we served over 20,000 individuals across all of our programs, including hundreds of children in our family and youth shelters. In 1 year at the peak of the pandemic, with the support of the county plus our countless partners, Lighthouse served the emergency needs of over 30,000 residents from Royal Oak Township to Holly, Wixom, and more. Lighthouse is here today with our partners at Hope Shelter and CHN as you begin this year's budget process to request that you use county surplus funds in addition to general funds to support strengthening its investment in solutions aimed at supporting local social service organizations, including those that work with individuals experiencing homelessness, at risk of homelessness, and in low-income households. Specifically, we are requesting that the county assist agent organizations like Lighthouse and our partners in obtaining the resources to recruit and retain qualified staff in a high-stress level line of work that results in employee turnover. These essential frontline workers are critical for moving community members into stable housing, and these positions often remain vacant for extended periods due to limitations on what we can compensate our employees. In partnership with Oakland County, Lighthouse will be breaking ground this fall on a much-needed expansion of our family shelter. We want to ensure that our additional shelter guests and anyone who comes to our organizations can work with enough trained team members to quickly move into secure housing or receive other supportive services. Additionally, the county should expand investment in the Housing Trust Fund so that residents can find accessible housing in a community of their choice without having to work multiple jobs, being away from their support systems, or forcing their kids to change school. Given the uncertainty of funding at the federal level, increased resources from our county can help local organizations plan for the future while continuing to provide the best possible services today. Lighthouse's consistent goal is to serve as many people as possible with the highest quality of services and do so with whatever resources are made available. When given the resources during COVID, our community expanded to meet the emergency, and today is a rare moment when significant investments can be made to support the infrastructure of our social service sector. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. And now, State Representative Donnie Steele. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak before you, and thank you for your service. I'm Donnie Steele. I'm the state representative, and I serve Orion, Auburn Hills, Bloomfield, and parts of Oakland Township. I was the treasurer for Orion Township for 6 years, so I was intimately related with Oakland County. And over the past 6 years, I've seen some things that have been concerning at Oakland County. And just a couple things I would just like to point out. Raising taxes, dismantling the assessing department, adversarial with the road commission by stopping the building of their project, of the needed building that hadn't been redone since the 50s, trying to consolidate the road commission with the commissioner. I think that there's a conflict of interest there. Defunding the police, which directly influences my communities. And today, with the constant disruptions between the trustees and the chair, clapping in the room, having people speak when they were not supposed to because it wasn't agenda items, and maybe I missed the agenda changes, but I was not privy to them on the written form. But today I would like to bring up the fact that we do have a conflict of interest with Sheetz Gas Station, and it's written in the paper, and legislatively we are trying to write a law to stop that process because it's not fair to our communities to have these conflicts of interest. And the last thing that I think that we should be accountable for is the current, past, and future spending of the unneeded satellite office in Pontiac. I don't know if the budget was approved, a work schedule was approved, or a study that stated that we need an additional square footage in Pontiac when we have 14 million square feet unused in the 1200 complex. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up, I think, did Ms. Draper leave as well? I believe she left as well. Okay, next up is, good afternoon.
My name is William Rising. I live in Rochester Hills. I'm on the board of directors of Hope Shelter, and I'm here to support Hope Shelter and also the other two shelters that were referenced in seeking additional funding for those shelters because believe me, they need it. I can tell you from my own experience at Hope, and before that, you should know, I was involved with the shelter of Flint in Flint, Michigan. For 15 years, I was the chair of the board there before I moved back to Rochester Hills. Shelters are an integral part of any community, and they offer hope to the lowest people on those rungs of all strata in the community. And without them, I don't know what people would do. A lot of people don't do well. It's not a good thing. Hope Shelter is a low barrier shelter, meaning anybody who comes to the front door, if they have a bed, because they only have one large room with a lot of beds, okay? This is not Hyatt Regency. This is Hope Shelter. They put a roof over your head, they feed you, and you can take a shower and wash your clothes. But believe me, it's minimalistic. I've been there. I go there all the time. I have a coffee hour periodically. I take coffee and cookies, and I sit down and I talk to these folks one-on-one to find out why they're there, what can we do to help you, and what can we do to move on. And believe me, there's all segments of people. There's veterans there. There are people who are working, but they can't find housing. But they're trying. They're trying. And so I'm here to ask you to support financially the shelters. There are 3 counties in Michigan that do, by the way. Washtenaw, Ingham, and Kalamazoo. They actually, in their budgets, support the shelter or shelters in those counties. And there's no reason why Oakland County, the most prosperous county in Michigan, cannot do the same thing. Thank you.
Thank you. And sir, can you just give your name again for the record? I just didn't have it on the sheet.
My name was William Rising, R-E-I-S-I-N-G.
Thank you, William. Next, Mrs. Jody White, followed by Heidi West.
I see this, so this is important, so I'm gonna grab this. Sorry to hear about your litigation. 7 years ago, on July 19th, 2018, Jeff and I stood before this board where Chris Ward was the director. We warned you about the serious problems in our probate court system, probably the same in family court. We were told that there was no mismanagement. I'm not gonna even read my speech because, you guys know my story. We have a conviction. David White went to jail. We have a probate judge up there that is still denying my husband the right to be a person in the courtroom. They're saying he is not an interested party. People, John White had 5 sons. My husband was number 3. He is the one that's been the whistleblower. Be careful being a whistleblower. They harm you. Not these sheriffs here, but a few of them have harmed me. And so, and now what they're doing is, and Heather Catella just left, they're saying that I fed her information because some of the stuff is getting out. It's not getting out just because of me. There's a lot of us that are trying to fix the system. I had a couple really great conversations with a few of the commissioners here. One of the things I really would like to do, the police commissioners in Detroit are an oversight process for citizens. And they started in 1974 because there was a problem with policemen. And guess what? There's still a problem with control, and everybody wants to be the boss, and everybody wants to do it their way. This is a community, you guys. The way some of you were acting was shocking. I have 2 children. There's no way my children would ever sit on a panel like this and treat each other that way. And if they do, mama's coming after them to say, knock it off. But at the end of the day, there is definitely an issue in our court system. It is a huge issue. There are lawyers in this courtroom that know about it. And you know what? They do need to be overlooked and oversight with them. And by the way, we have a court watching program. Oh, but we're in trouble because we're doing it. But you know why? They won't give us the courtroom videos because then we would actually be able to prove it to you. So all I'm going to ask is that I've got another minute. What the heck? I want to basically say at the end of the day, we are spending more money with Speaker Law Firm. We already won one court of appeals. That Judge O'Brien made an error up there. If we would have gotten our jury trial in March of 17, let the families fight. We were not beating each other up. Ours was about money, okay? They should have been able to fight. The evidence should have been there. We should have had our jury trial in March of 2017. Now, my family, we're going to spend another $5,000, and we're going to ask this attorney from Speaker Law Firm, are you going to stand with us citizens that are sick of these few attorneys that are running a horrible scam up there. They called it a criminal enterprise when David White got convicted. He's doing 4 to 20 years in jail because of it. So now, all of a sudden, I would like Speaker Law Firm to come on our side of the citizens, because I'm the client. I'm paying her. And I'm not going to sit there and read their lies that they put in the court records for the last 7 years about our family. And again, any of you guys, come give us an audit. Come see what we've been asking for. Because you know what? We want it. The attorneys don't. So I rest my case. Again, see you next month.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. White. Heidi West, followed by Karen, I think it's Plants.
Hello, everyone. First, I want to thank you all for passing the 2 resolutions together. But the removal of the word genocide is despicable. As an American Jew, we are taught that every life is a universe. I identify more with my Jewish values, in fact, opposing this genocide. I watched films and was taught about the Holocaust starting at 8 years old. What I know from history is that the Holocaust didn't happen overnight. It took years of inaction. No one called it that then. We're fortunate to have the perspective of history to never repeat those mistakes and horrors again. As an American Jew, I personally reject anyone speaking for all Jews. I'm not offended because we represent many viewpoints all around the world. Many Israeli Jews themselves are calling for an end to this genocide because they can see what's happening and know the hostages won't be freed and they won't be made safer by what their government is doing. I'm not offended, I am saddened and triggered because it deeply concerns me. I'm a teacher, I've studied basic psychology, and what I know is we have to heal our collective trauma to not harm others. We can't say we don't want a genocide when we won't call one what it is and try to change its definition. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen, is it Plants? Apologize if I...
Good afternoon. My name is Karen Plants. I am a resident of the fabulous Ferndale, and I work at Hope Shelters. I started at Hope Shelters 2 weeks after the pandemic began. Remember that? When you all were locked down in your homes? We were locked down in the shelter. Between Carolyn and I, we can name someone from every one of your districts. You come up to us and say, I represent Rochester Hills. We'll tell you our guests from Rochester Hills. We know the people. This is not a Pontiac problem. This is an Oakland County problem. It's not even an Oakland County problem. It's a Southeast Michigan problem because homeless are mobile. They jump on the bus. They can take the 472 Express from our shelter to downtown Detroit, and they move back and forth. Now, I'm horrible at math. I became a lawyer. I was a lawyer for 20 years. Well, I mean, I still am. I don't practice. I became a lawyer so I didn't have to do math. But if you gave each one of our agencies, Hope, Lighthouse, and CHN, $1 million out of the $200 million surplus, that's what, 1%? 1% of your surplus we're asking for these 3 agencies. And here's the lesson for today. Our 3 agencies, we're competing for the same funding. We're going after the same dollars, the same grants, but you know what? Today, we're sitting together. We're here asking for money for each other. We're asking you to support our 3 agencies. We're all competitive, just like you are competitive commissioners. But we get along when it comes to serving the people. And we're asking you to help us serve your constituents today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other members of the public that wish to speak? Just come up and just state your name again, just for the record.
Hi, I'm Rania Masri. I'm from Farmington Hills, speaking again. First of all, it's great to see activists and leaders here advocating for funding combating homelessness and the building and sustaining of shelters and support staff. I absolutely support the initiative, and I believe Oakland County has the budget for it, and the funding should be approved. So, homelessness is defined as a lack of fixed or adequate housing. With 90% of the population in Gaza displaced, that means 1.9 million people are living in makeshift tents and overcrowded shelters. The thing is, the homelessness is not caused by some natural disaster. It's caused by all of your tax dollars, and it's being sent to Israel every day to bomb innocent civilians. So congratulations, Oakland County has heeded its residents' calls to acknowledge the ongoing genocide in Gaza and call for peace with a resolution. However, Commissioner Gershenson stated that she personally is offended by the amendment by Charlie Cavell. She said the statement is offensive to her because she considers it to be anti-Semitic. Let me read it to you. Whereas Oakland County has a proud history of standing in solidarity with oppressed and marginalized communities, as demonstrated by its resolutions commemorating Genocide Awareness Month and World Refugee Day, reaffirming its commitment to upholding human rights, dignity, and compassion for all individuals. I'll repeat what I said in my earlier comment because it seems some commissioners may not have been listening. Genocide is the intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or a religious group. Gaza has endured it for 76 years. The world is finally naming it. The International Court of Justice says Israel's actions are plausibly genocidal. The International Criminal Court is pursuing charges for using starvation as a weapon. And inside Israel, rights groups like B'Tselem and Physicians for Human Rights Israel now openly say their own government is committing genocide. To say that using the word genocide is anti-Semitic is a bold-faced lie when it's being used by Israeli rights groups, Israeli protesters, demanding that their government stops the assault on Gaza and brings back the hostages, and by Jewish people saying never again for anyone. These are Jewish and Israeli groups that are seeing the genocide for what it is. The entire international community, the United Nations, the majority of the world is calling this a genocide. When we call it a genocide, it is not attacking a race or ethnic group. What we see, in fact, is the attack of a race and ethnic group called the Palestinian people in Gaza and in the West Bank. And we need to put that word back in the resolution where it belongs and stop being cowardly about this. This is not a personal attack against a particular commissioner or anyone's particular feelings. It is about representing the people of Oakland County and what they stand for and what the majority of this country stands for.
Thank you. Mr. Flores, did you want to? Oh, okay.
Hello again. I'm Qazi Afzal from Novi. It's good afternoon. It was morning a little bit ago. It's a long meeting today. So what happened in that room, I saw, like the previous speaker said, killing, murdering, genocide, theft. These are all definitions. It doesn't apply to any race, any color of people. So if somebody is a murderer, he's a murderer. If somebody is a thief, he's a thief. If somebody is a pickpocket, he or she is a pickpocket. It doesn't apply to any gender, any race. So I don't know why some commissioner feels personally offended when the term genocide is used. I think this whole exercise that I saw makes people question the whole motivation even more. In the morning speech, I said the media outlets, comedians, many talk show hosts are talking topics that nobody would have said publicly a year ago. Now it's open and it's increasing. What you just did helps this cause. It doesn't help anybody. It just makes things worse. Call it what it is and don't try to put it on the table. And additionally, there was some invisible arm twisting, the way the voting went. It's obvious. So whether it's ethics, it's morals, apply to it. I also said in the earlier speech this morning, Voters didn't leave the politicians left the voters. This is exactly another example of what I just said. Additionally, the funding, everything is classified as a group of haves and have-nots. The funding for the Hope Foundation, go for it if you have the funding. Why not use it? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Flores.
Instead of my tax dollars going to commit a genocide, I would rather use those tax dollars to fund the great shelters that are doing the great work of Oakland County. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. My name is Mike Flores from Troy, and I am Oakland County. Over the last 18 months, I've learned some hard truths. First, you can't trust all Democrats. That's just the truth. If you want to move something forward, you have to find your own path. And that means working in a bipartisan way, finding people, regardless of party, who will stand with you when it matters the most. Second, you cannot be poor and be genuinely involved in our government. My ability to be here meeting after meeting came from privilege. A flexible schedule, energy, and resources to show up. That's not possible if you're working 2 jobs, caring for kids without help, and living paycheck to paycheck. If this chamber truly values public engagement, then we need to confront the barriers that keep working people out of politics and government. Third, the real power in Oakland County. Not just the political power, but people power. And that power came from outside these chambers, not inside. We built our own network, our own strategy, and our own relationships. And despite the partisan games, we delivered from the bottom up, not from the top down. And that's really what democracy looks like. And for those who resisted into the very end, you had a choice. You could have been on the right side of history from the start, but you weren't. There will come a day when it will be more controversial to have been silent than to have spoken during a genocide, to have spoken on the side of humanity. I want to thank all those who did have the courage in this building and in this community for the guidance, the technical support, and the encouragement. And I especially want to thank the people behind me. Who would have thought a short, queer, land person from Troy would have become friends with a slightly shorter mother, a medical executive, and a Muslim resident from Novi, my partner during this whole process, Alia. Thank you, Alia, for being a strong leader and a strong supporter. Or that I share a journey with Nabil from Bloomfield Hills area, Rania and Farah from Farmington Hills area, Fabrice from Troy, Kazi from Novi, Heidi and Amrit from Ferndale, Suhair from Huntington Woods, and so many other great people and from great communities in our beautiful county. Thank you for your unwavering commitment and your support in this process. That's the real power of what happened here. The connections, the solidarity, and the refusal to give up. And let's be clear, this is not the end. It's just the beginning. Let's keep moving Oakland County forward with real power. Thank you, and gracias.
Thank you.
The Gaza genocide has been one of humanity's darkest mirrors, forcing us to confront truths many would rather ignore. It taught us that silence is not neutral. When the world watched children starve, when hospitals were bombed, when humanitarian aid was blocked at the gates, silence became complicity. History has shown us before, from Rwanda to Srebrenica, that atrocities do not need everyone's active participation to succeed. They only need enough people to look away. It taught us that dehumanization is the first step towards annihilation. The language used to strip Palestinians of their humanity made their suffering easier for others to ignore. Once people are labeled less than human, their pain stops mattering to those in power, and genocide becomes unthinkable. It taught us that international law is only as strong as the will to enforce it. As all the convention, treaties, and declarations meant to prevent another Holocaust were reduced to empty words when they failed to protect Gaza's children from bombs, famine, and disease. It taught us that resistance is not just on the battlefield, it's in truth-telling. The fight for Palestine showed that even when the physical land is under siege, the narrative must be defended. It taught us the moral test of any society is how it treats its most vulnerable. And the world has failed that test. When babies dying in incubators, mothers forced to bury their children in mass graves, and families eating leaves to survive. And perhaps most painfully, it taught us that never again was conditional for some, and meaningless unless we demand it for all. We cannot undo the horror, but we can decide what it will mean. If the Gaza genocide taught us anything, it is that our voices, our actions, and our solidarity are not charity, they are a duty. Today, Oakland County has begun to take a step to live up to its own words in both of these resolutions. Commissioner Johnson, your resolution states that Oakland County values and upholds principles of humanity, peace, and dignity for all individuals and supports diplomatic initiatives that advance humanity, peace, and dignity. These words are only meaningful if they are applied consistently and with action, even when it is politically uncomfortable. When resolutions like the ones introduced today do not express concern but take a stand for the very principles they proclaim. Right now in Gaza, those principles are being trampled in ways that shock the conscience. And so our work begins. Our team is laser focused to ensure that our tax dollars are spent helping our fellow Americans and humanity, that money, greed, corruption, and pleasing the elites get rooted out of every government official and institution, and that we raise our voice to fight injustice for everyone, everywhere. That's a promise we made when we witnessed 670 days of images, videos, and stories of emaciated infants and toddlers wasting from preventable hunger, of the thousands of innocent, starving people shot down while they're waiting in line for food, of the 3,000 plus children who had one or more of their limbs amputated, many without anesthesia, of the 40,000 plus orphans who are left alone to fend for themselves, of 242 journalists who risked their lives to bring us the truth, of the children, women, and men burned to death, of the father digging through rubbles in hopes of finding water, food, and even parts of his children's head, body, or limbs, of the woman who were raped, gave birth without anesthesia, and endured the psychological trauma of torture and mother of their children, of 7-year-old Sidra, whose mutilated remains with severe legs was hanging from a destroyed building, or of 6-year-old Hindra Jab, whose body was bombarded with 355 bullets. This Gaza genocide did not start on October 7th. It was a result of 75 years of ethnic cleansing, torture, and inhumane brutality. Hostages are on both sides. You forget the 10,000 Palestinians, some of which are children, that are held with administrative detention by Israel. Two-state solution is what everyone wants except Netanyahu and the Israeli government. And as the only Jewish commissioner, Commissioner Gershenson never again should apply to everyone. It is sad to see that the oppressed have become the oppressor, and these facts are not anti-Semitic.
Anybody from the general public that would like to speak? I think we covered everything. Now, before, I know that there's a couple commissioners that want to say something, and I just want to be very clear that public comment is reserved for the public. We went through a long meeting. We worked our way through to get some bipartisanship, and I would hope that commissioners will add constructive comments. I'm going to allow it unless there is objection. Commissioner Hoffman and Commissioner Nelson, I will allow it, but if it gets too far off the mark, we're going to adjourn the meeting. Commissioner Hoffman.
Thank you, Chairman Woodward. I just have
Chair,
to...
I object. I object. I vehemently object. We have kicked this can, beat this dog. The vote has passed in the way that it was supposed to. This is just a little outside of the order. A lot outside order.
Disagree. Our board rules.
Okay, is there a motion then to adjourn?
I motion.
Point of clarification.
There's a motion by Commissioner Powell, seconded by Commissioner Charles to adjourn the meeting. I don't need to discuss it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Nay. Roll call vote, please.
We can call the roll call.
Voice vote, please.
Chairman, can you break down yes or no? Which way is this? I'm not following.
Yes is to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
That's the caucus chair.
Shut up. I didn't can't tolerate you enough. That's what he says. That's why you petty. Peter, somebody got time. Peter, get ready.
Oh, please. A yes is to adjourn. A yes is to adjourn.
Let the meeting keep going. Yeah.
They didn't call it yet. We're voting to stay and not stay.
Commissioner Cavell? You in this chair? No. Okay.
I think it's just funny to point out that it took longer
I'm
to
just
do the
asking for
vote
your
than
vote.
it did to
Commissioner
just let
Cavell,
him
I'm just
talk.
asking for your vote, please. Yes
No.
or no? No, thank you. Who else are we waiting on? Commissioner Joliet? No. Commissioner Long?
No.
Commissioner Lubes? She here? She left. Okay. Commissioner Smiley?
No.
Spiz? Commissioner Spiz?
No.
Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeses, 8 nos.
Well, not a majority of who are elected and serving, so the motion fails. Commissioner Hoffman, you want to go to the microphone?
Well, I get to speak?
Oh, yes.
I'm going to, honestly, this is, you are a member of the board. I know you're a member of the board. The public comments for the public to come. So, Commissioner Hoffman. And I just remind you, the bipartisanship work that accomplished the large topic of the day. So hopefully that informs your remarks.
Thank you, Chairman Woodward. I just have to say how disappointed I am in the actions of our chair. There were 2 commissioners on your side of the aisle who stood up and did not agree with you, so you retaliated. Not only did you remove them.
We're done. Meeting adjourned.
Wait, Chairman, I also was second. You can't, Chairman.
I just adjourned the meeting.